Are you at Udos St. Pierre?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. St. Pierre, you were arrested on a charge of trespass on property after a warning. There's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is stated $500. You are not to return to the scene of the offense.
Your Honor, the state has extended an offer to Mr. St. Pierre of a withhold of adjudication credit for time served in court costs. No return to the scene. Would this court be willing to take that offer at this time?
If he wants to take the plea, yes. Do you want to plead to that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Withhold credit for time served in court.
And Your Honor, I do have a signed plea form. May I approach?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. St. Pierre, tell me your full name and your birthday, please.
It is Uds Moise St. Pierre. Birthday March 27, 1996.
How far have you gone in school?
High school diploma.
So you read, write, and understand English?
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney handed me a plea form in English. Did you read and understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Plea form has your name at the top, a signature at the bottom. Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, medicine, or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone forced you to plea?
No, ma'am.
And do you have any kind of mental condition that would make you confused or not understand what's going on?
No, ma'am.
Are you thinking clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering your plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your plea form lists the rights that you give up. By pleading, you give up your right to a trial, your right to testify or choose to remain silent, your right to call your own witnesses and question the state's witnesses, and make the state prove you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Any questions about the rights you give up?
No, ma'am.
You're pleading to trespass after a warning. You can get up to a year in jail. Any questions about that? That's not the sentence that you're going to get. That's just the maximum penalty.
No, ma'am.
Were you on probation when you got this charge?
No, ma'am.
This plea would be used to prove the violation against you if you were. And do you need to speak to an immigration attorney about immigration consequences?
No, ma'am.
Because if you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering a plea, you will be subjected to deportation proceedings. There is a factual basis on the affidavit to accept the plea, if that's what you still want to do. The guilty plea admits the crime, not guilty denies it, and no contest says you don't admit or deny. You are pleading in your best interest. How do you plead to the charge of trespass after a warning?
No contest.
I'll accept the no contest plea and find that you're entering it freely and voluntarily, making a knowing, intelligent waiver. You understand the consequences. Anything you want to say before I sentence you?
1 second.
Hey, good afternoon at the county jail. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Everyone, I'm Judge Egan. I'll be taking care of initial appearances this afternoon. I've reviewed police reports. We're going to bring you up one at a time, take a look at the reason why you were picked up. If I find there was probable cause for the arrest, we'll see if you're entitled to a bond or release terms, and we can set the release terms and the bond as well, okay? For most of you, I think you requested that we appoint the Office of the Public Defender. If you did, we'll make that appointment before you go. If you have any questions, I suggest you run them by counsel there. And can I have your name, sir?
Edward Lopez on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Mr. Lopez is there with the Public Defender's Office. If you have any questions, run them by him first. If he thinks it's appropriate to ask me, then you're certainly welcome to do that. And who's here for the state today?
Patricia Lewis, Your Honor.
Miss Lewis is here for the state, okay? And is someone from the pretrial services at the jail?
Yes, Joy Gibson, pretrial release.
Miss Guilford, right?
Gibson, Gibson.
Sorry, Miss Gibson is here, that's right, okay. Do we have any Spanish?
We have 3. They should have been the first 3.
Oh, are those, Spanish interpreter, okay. We have some Spanish cases, I'm gonna get the interpreter on the line, and then we'll get those done first.
Good afternoon. This is Laura Arroyo, state certified interpreter and previously sworn.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This is Judge Egan. I'm at the Osceola County Courthouse, and we've got initial appearances. I think we have 3 people, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Fantastic. The first case, if we could have Kellyanne Mojica. Is she there?
She has two cases, Judge.
Two cases, okay?
Your Honor, Ms. Mojica refused. At this time, we would be waiving her appearance.
Okay, and she has two cases, 21 CF 1684. That, I believe, is violation of probation. She was picked up on a warrant for that. That's no bond. In her other case, 21 CF 3474, a bench warrant was issued for failing to appear. That's also no bond. And we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent her. Okay, and the next one I had came in as a John Doe. Do we have his name yet?
I believe his name is Javis Martinez, Your Honor.
Okay. That's the name he gave the police, Mr. Martinez. And Madam Interpreter, if you could ask him if his name is Javis Martinez, please.
Señor, su nombre es Javis Martinez. Yes.
Okay, and Madam Interpreter, it's case number 22CT 2269. Okay, and I do find probable cause for one count of no valid driver's license.
Se determina que existen suficientes indicios de criminalidad con respecto a un cargo de conducir sin licencia válida.
And we can set his bond in the amount of $500 and appoint the Office of the Public Defender.
Y se fija la fianza en $500 y además se le designa defensor público.
Thank you, sir.
Judge,
Gracias,
would you be
señor.
accepting his name?
I'm sorry?
Would you be accepting the name that he gave?
I guess, I don't know, do I have an option? It looks like there's a passport attached that,
Su señoría va a aceptar el nombre que él acaba de dar. Parece ser que tenemos aquí un pasaporte adjunto a la documentación.
Madam Interpreter, can you ask him if he's also known by Jose Jeevis, G-E-I-V-I-S?
También se le conoce a usted por el nombre José Jevis, J-E-V-I-S. Perdón, repita.
José Martínez Vargas, mi nombre completo.
My full name is Davis Jose Martinez Vargas.
Okay. And that is consistent with what's on the passport.
Eso concuerda con lo que figura en el pasaporte.
So I think the name he did just give, we would accept, yes.
Y por lo tanto, el nombre que usted acaba de darnos será aceptado.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
And how about, is it Efrain Mojica Rivera?
President approaching, Your Honor. At this time, defense will be requesting a waiving of reading of his charges.
Se encuentra presente y se está acercando en este momento dado. La defensa solicita que no se lea la lectura de los cargos.
Okay. Are you Mr. Mojica Rivera?
Señor, ¿es usted Mojica Rivera?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. I know you don't want me to read it, but how many counts do you have, State, for this?
Sé que no desean que se haga la lectura de cargos, pero la Fiscalía me podría indicar cuántos cargos tiene.
I see 3, Your Honor.
3.
Aquí figuran 3, Su Señoría.
And is there any objection to the bonds that were listed by the FHP officer?
¿Alguna objeción a las fianzas que fueron fijadas por el policía de patrulla de autopistas de la Florida?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
No en este momento dado, Su Señoría.
So count 1, we would set bond in the amount of $1,000.
En el primer cargo se fija la fianza en $1,000.
Count 2, we would set his bond in the amount of $15,000.
En el segundo se fija fianza en $15,000.
Count 3, we'd set his bond in the amount of $100,000.
En el tercero se fija la fianza en $100,000.
Is there a fourth count? I want to verify with pretrial services.
Permítame verificar con los servicios de libertad provisional. ¿Acaso existe un cuarto cargo?
On the information sheet, Your Honor, is showing 4, but I'm looking at the affidavit to see.
En la hoja de información figuran 4, pero estoy ahora echándole un vistazo a la affidavit para confirmar.
Actually, I see 4.
Okay.
Yo veo aquí 4.
Then count 4 as $1,000 also.
Entonces, en el cuarto cargo, la fianza será $1,000.
And we can appoint the office of the public defender.
Se le designa defensor público.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor,
Gracias, señor.
we do have 2 more Spanish interpreter cases at this time. It has been brought to my attention.
Okay.
The first one
Your
is
Honor.
Roy
I'm
Ortiz.
sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. May the interpreter have the case number for Mr. Mojica Rivera?
Yeah, 22 CF 1968.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Lopez, the name was?
Roy Ortiz
Okay.
and Luz Rodriguez. Those are the last 2 that I have for Spanish.
Ortiz has 2 cases.
Okay, so we can have Mr. Roy Ortiz come up, please.
Que se acerque el señor Roy Ortiz, por favor.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Se encuentra presente y se está acercando, su señoría.
And good afternoon. Are you Mr. Roy Ortiz?
Buenas tardes. ¿Acaso usted es el señor Roy Ortiz? Yes, correct.
So, Madam Interpreter, his first case is 22 CF 1969. And we do find probable cause for 1 count of possession of a controlled substance and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia.
En el primer caso, que es el 22 CF 1969, se encuentra que existe indicios razonables de criminalidad con respecto a un cargo de tenencia de sustancias reguladas y un cargo de tenencia de adminículos de drogas.
And as to count 1, we would set bond in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, $500.
En el primer cargo se fija fianza en 1,000 y en el segundo en 500.
And Madam Interpreter, his second case is 22 MM 1122.
El segundo caso es el 22 MM 1122.
And Judge Epperson issued a warrant for failing to appear at his arraignment.
El juez Epperson emitió orden de arresto por falta de comparecencia el día de la vista incoatoria.
And we would set bond, and Judge Epperson indicated a $500 bond.
El juez Epperson indicó que la fianza sería $500.
Your Honor, the state would request in 22 CT 1570 that his bond be revoked while he was out on bond. In that case, he's picked up a new law violation of felony.
Su señoría, la Fiscalía solicita que en la causa 22-7-1570 se encuentra detenido sin derecho a fianza. Cuando él ya estaba libre bajo fianza, va y comete un nuevo delito grave.
That was a CT case number?
¿Me dio usted un número CT?
That's the case number I have for Judge Epperson's warrant, Your Honor, is 22 CT 1570.
Su señoría, el caso que tengo yo con respecto a la orden de arresto del juez Epperson es el 22-7-1570.
His warrant has an MM case number.
Es que la orden de arresto que tengo yo tiene el número de caso MM.
Your Honor, I also have the warrant as 22 CT 1570 is what he was arrested on.
Su señoría, también yo tengo la orden de arresto para el número 22-7-1570. Fue por eso que le arrestaron.
Yeah, and Madam Clerk is clearing this up for us. I think it has the warrant I have has the wrong case number.
Sí, la secretaria me lo está aclarando porque la orden de arresto que yo tengo es con un número de causa diferente.
I can print you the order from that court date. However, the warrant in the case in benchmark is the wrong warrant. The clerk put in the wrong warrant.
So, Madam Interpreter, I don't know if you heard that.
No, Your Honor.
The warrant in the case on the, in the computer was scanned in incorrectly, and she just printed out the correct warrant for me.
La orden de arresto que se había escaneado en la computadora era la incorrecta y ahora me está dando la orden que corresponde.
So, Mr. Lopez, it's 22 CT 1570.
Muy bien, entonces, señor López, va a ser para el caso 22 CT 1570.
And so that, Judge Epson, and that also indicated a $500 bond.
Y ahí también el juez indicó, el juez Epperson, que la fianza será $500.
And the state is asking me to forfeit that bond, right?
Y la fiscalía está solicitando que se cancele esa fianza.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, su señoría.
And is it based on the new arrest?
Yes, Your Honor, he's violated his bond by picking up a new offense.
¿Y se ejecutaría porque cometió un nuevo ilícito? Sí, su señoría. Se basa en el hecho de que él cometió un nuevo ilícito.
Mr. Lopez, would you like to respond?
Señor López, ¿usted desea decir algo?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense would be requesting to not revoke that bond since it was a failure to appear and Judge Epperson issued a $500 bond.
Sí, su señoría, la defensa solicita que no se revoque la fianza, que fue una falta de comparecencia, y el juez fijó fianza en $500.
Judge, that case was also a notice to appear. He's not out on bond. He was never originally arrested.
Okay. Thank you, State, for the request. Madam Clerk was pointing out it was an failure to appear rather than being out on bond. So I think we're not going to forfeit that at this time, and he can keep the $500 bond.
Muchas gracias a la Fiscalía, pero la secretaria del juzgado me acaba de aclarar que fue por una falta de comparecencia y no por estar libre bajo fianza. Por lo tanto, no se va a ejecutar la fianza, se mantendrá tal cual con $500.
And then, if I didn't say so, we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender.
Si no lo indiqué previamente, se le va a designar defensor público.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Okay, so I think one more. Luz Rodriguez.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Are you Luz Rodriguez?
Buenas tardes. ¿Es usted Luz Rodríguez? Sí. Yes.
Okay, I do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery.
Muy bien, se determina que existe indicios razonables de criminalidad con respecto a un cargo de agresión física por violencia doméstica.
And Ms. Gibson, we don't have anyone here. It looks like someone did reach out to the alleged victim, though?
Yes, Your Honor, the victim request contact, they are married and living together.
Señora Gibson, parece ser que no hay nadie aquí, pero alguien se comunicó con la supuesta víctima. Sí, su señoría ha indicado que desea tener contacto y que ambos se encuentran casados.
And Ms. Gibson, were there any prior domestic violence arrests?
Yes, sir. Same victim, and that is in the year, 1 second. That happened in 2019.
¿Acaso han habido algunos incidentes previos de violencia doméstica? Sí, su señoría, con la misma víctima y fue en el 2019.
And did the state file on that? Do you know, Ms. Gibson?
No, they actually dropped it, no info.
¿Acaso sabe, señora Gibson, si la Fiscalía entabló cargos? No, su señoría. Desestimaron y no hubo formulación de la acusación.
And Ms. Lewis, does the state have a position on contact?
Licenciada Lewis, ¿la Fiscalía tiene alguna postura con respecto al contacto?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would ask for no contact based on the prior instances of domestic violence as well as the victim. I know they've been contacted, but not being present today to be questioned.
Sí, su señoría, la Fiscalía pide que esté prohibido cualquier tipo de contacto, ya que han habido previos incidentes de violencia doméstica y fue con la misma víctima, y aunque nos hemos podido comunicar con esa persona, no se encuentra aquí hoy día.
All right, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,500, order no hostile contact with the alleged victim. If Ms. Rodriguez has any firearms, those would be surrendered.
Muy bien. Y fijaré la fianza en 1.500. Ordeno que no se permita ningún tipo de hostilidad entre ustedes y la víctima. La señora Rodríguez tendrá que entregar a las autoridades cualquier arma que tenga,
And that would be within 24 hours of her release.
lo cual tiene que tomar lugar en un plazo de 24 horas tan pronto sea puesta en libertad.
And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender.
Se le designa defensor público.
And Madam Interpreter, I don't think I gave you the case number, did I?
No, Your Honor.
22MM1570.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help. I think that's it.
You're welcome. The interpreter will just...
Release to that?
No, I don't think so for that. Thank you.
¿Se puede agregar a ello libertad provisional? No, no pienso que se podrá hacer. Thank you, Your Honor. The interpreter will disconnect.
Thank you for your help. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Okay, how about Henry Johnson? Henry William Johnson?
President approaching, Your Honor. At this time, defense will be requesting a waiver of reading of his charges. He's aware of the warrant out of Orange County.
They're both, he's got two, so 20. '22 CF 4692, 21 CF 13622, Orange County warrants, and they both are no bond. Okay, so we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. And you are Mr. Johnson, is that right?
Yes, but on these charges in Orange County, I'll be acting pro se.
Okay, then you can be on your own, that's fine. We'll try to make arrangements to get you to Orange County, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir, good luck. All right, Benny Rivera.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hey, good afternoon, you Mr. Rivera?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Rivera, let's see. Okay, on case number 22 CF 1945, it looks like you were picked up on an arrest warrant. Probable cause was found for fleeing and eluding law enforcement with lights and sirens activated at high speed, also driving with a suspended license. And the bond as to count one there would be $7,500, count two, $1,000.
Your Honor, it is my understanding that Mr. Rivera qualifies for direct PTR.
And he does, that's right. And that's okay with me. So in lieu of the bond, you can do pretrial release, Mr. Rivera. We can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck. How about John Ashley?
President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Ashley?
Yes, sir.
Hi, Mr. Ashley. I do find probable cause for one count of retail theft with two or more prior convictions, and we'd set your bond in the amount of $2,500 there. As to count two, we find probable cause for resisting a merchant, and bond would be set in the amount of $500. We order that you have no return to the Walmart located at 4400 13th Street as a condition of your release, and we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Moises Colon? Okay, thank you.
One moment, Your Honor. He's President approaching.
Thank you.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Colon?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Colon. I'll tell you what I read, and then we'll talk to the witness here. I do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery. And ma'am, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can I have your name, please?
Monica Pastana.
What is your relationship with Mr. Moises
I'm
Colon?
his wife.
Wife. How long have you all been married?
A year and a month.
And I presume you live together?
Yes.
Any kids?
He has 3 kids and I have a son.
Okay. I read the police report. Based on what I read, there is probable cause that you were the victim of a battery. We need to talk about conditions of release. Are you in fear of him?
No.
Has anything like this happened before?
No.
Meaning, has he ever been physically violent with you before?
No.
Okay. Did alcohol or drugs have anything to do with this event?
Alcohol. We don't normally drink. We're not drinkers, but we came for a funeral. We made a bad judgment thinking that, we went out to eat and we took shots to just, kind of say goodbye to her. I didn't even want to come to the funeral, but, he kind of convinced me, so we came, and I understand because they're very good, close friends of ours. One thing led to another, and, we both know we made a mistake. We know that we're not supposed to drink. Alcohol isn't really good for him.
And if he is allowed to go home, you understand that there's nothing that anyone in this room can do to protect you. If this happens again, you'd have to call law enforcement. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Lewis, did you have any questions for her?
Yes, ma'am. Did you call the police in this case?
Yes.
And if something like this were to happen again, would you be okay with calling the police again?
If I had to, as I said before, he's never been like this before. It kind of just scared me. And as I told you outside, I mean, he's a good person. He's a good father. We have a trucking company. He's a driver. He's the sole provider. We made a bad judgment. We thought that, having a couple of drinks to say goodbye to a friend wasn't going to affect him that way. But, clearly, we made a mistake. We're only human. But at the end of the day, I love him very much, and I know that he loves me, and it was just a bad thing. And we have to leave, and I had to change the flights. I changed them for tomorrow. I had to extend the hotel and the car rental and all this stuff. And he missed the funeral.
I'm sorry about that. Could you tell us the address that you both live at?
185 Jefferson Ave, Cresskill, New Jersey.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
I must have missed that here. So you live in New Jersey, you're scheduled to go home today?
Yes.
Okay.
And I had to change everything, and it cost me a lot of money to change it.
Oh, there it is, New Jersey. So, Ms. Gibson, just curious, if someone lives in New Jersey, they would still qualify for pretrial release?
They will because they check in
Okay.
on the phone, they just can't be out of the country.
Okay. All right. Mr. Colon, the state, did you have a position on any of this?
Judge, the state would ask for no alcohol or drugs, no weapons or firearms, and no hostile contact.
All right, Mr. Colon, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance with some conditions, okay? Until this is cleared up, you're not to possess, or you're not to consume any alcohol or non-prescribed medication, okay? Whether the state of Florida pursues this or not, we have to wait and let them make a decision. If they do, you would have to come back, and of course, a condition of release would be to attend all future court appearances that you're given notice of, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so, other than that, he's going to release, you're also to have no hostile contact with your wife here as a condition of your relief, Ms. Pastana. All right?
Was that, I'm sorry, direct PTR or was that ROR?
It's ROR. He's going to New Jersey. I don't expect we'll see him ever again, but
No.
if he's prosecuted, he knows he has to be here, okay?
Does that mean we can see each other? Like we can get on the plane together and everything?
You go pick him up right now, he gets in a car and you go home. Well, maybe not right now, but he doesn't have to post a bond, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
guys.
luck.
Thank you.
Antoine Davis.
Judge, Judge, did you say no weapons or firearms?
Are you Mr. Davis? Are you Mr. Davis? Okay, all right. I have reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery, and I know we have somebody here. Good afternoon. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your name, please?
Naomi Lyons.
You might want to speak in that microphone so
Sorry.
make sure that they can hear you there.
Naomi Lyons.
And Ms. Lyons, what is your relationship with Mr. Davis?
My fiance. We've been together 6 years.
And do you live together?
Yes, we do.
And I did review this police report, and I did find probable cause that you're the victim of a domestic battery. Has anything like this happened before?
No. We left Buffalo on Saturday at 3:30 in the morning to come to Orlando with the entire family. We hit a 8-hour delay at JFK Airport. We landed here, met his entire family. I have his aunt here with me, who's also from Buffalo. I went to sleep and he went out with his friends and this never happens. That's why I called. I got so scared. It's not like him. He just came home intoxicated and it just made me very nervous and very scared and some of the things he was saying, but that never happens. He's an amazing man and he's our main support at home. He watches our son who we just have, and we flew here with 2 of his kids and 2 of my kids. So we leave out tomorrow. Our flight is to leave tomorrow at 8 a.m. It was just a very ugly situation. It just made me very nervous because this isn't like him at all. We have a business he started, which is a taxi service in Buffalo, and I am a nurse.
It says he bit you?
No, I panicked. He said he was going to do these things, and I just panicked because I've never heard these things. I have no marks or anything on me. It was just a very scary situation. You
can keep talking.
Yeah, I just panicked because the things he was saying, and because I was asleep and woke me up out of my sleep very aggressively, and it just made me very scared. So I panicked because that never happens, and I'm not in my hometown. I was in Florida, and I didn't know what to do. I had a house full of kids, so I panicked and just called the police. And so that's my mistake. I apologize. But nothing like this has ever happened before. We have no police interaction in Buffalo. He's never attacked me. We're getting just regular arguments, but nothing crazy. I think it's just the flight and the drinking that got to him because after drinking and then getting on a plane.
And Ms. Gibson over there, you can't see Ms. Gibson, but she's with pretrial services. And I don't know, do you have the resources to let me know if there's been any other domestic violence incidents involving him?
I do, Your Honor. Let me scan his history. The only thing I see right now is an assault in 2014.
But nothing involving Miss
Naomi
Lyons, right?
No, sir.
All right. And does the state have any questions for Ms. Lyons?
Did you call the police in this case?
Yes, I did.
And if something scary were to happen again, would you feel comfortable calling?
Definitely, yes, I would.
Okay. And what's the address that you reside with the defendant?
66 Dash Street, Buffalo, 14220.
No further questions, Your Honor.
This report reads a little differently than the one I just read.
Yeah, because I panicked. It's just the things he was yelling at me, so I was just repeating what I was hearing. And that's why I got nervous, because that never happens. He was thinking something was happening at the home because he couldn't get in and nothing was. And so that is my mistake for being so excited. I woke up out of a sleep just hearing crazy stuff, so I repeated everything that I heard. And I explained to the officer, I just wanted him to leave, and that's what I said when I called. I just wanted him to be removed if possible, but we're not in Buffalo. And I swear.
Ms. Gibson, while this is pending, he would be able to check in with PTR from New York, is that right?
He will. By phone, yes, sir.
Okay. And if we do that, am I required by law to impose a bond, or can we order straight PTR?
Well, because of the charge, it has to come with a bond.
Okay.
For our admin order.
just because this reads a little differently, I'd like him to check in while the state's making a charging decision. By law, I do have to give a bond if I'm going to have him do that. So I'd set his bond in the amount of $1,000 plus pretrial release, no hostile contact with Ms. Lyons as a condition of release. If he does own firearms, those need to be surrendered within 24 hours of returning home, and then he can have those returned if the state doesn't pursue this or if the charges are dropped. And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender here to represent his interests, okay?
Okay, and where do I?
Based on Ms. Leon's talking about drinking, state would ask for no alcohol or drugs.
Yeah, Mr. Davis, while this is pending, no alcohol, no non-prescribed medication, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, be careful. Thank you, Ms. Lyons.
Thank you, sir.
So, Your Honor, you have no drugs, alcohol, and surrender weapons with
Yes,
no hostile?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That was a surrender within 24 hours of returning.
Getting back to New York.
Is he able to bond himself out, or does he have money on his person, so?
He can make the arrangements on his own. He'll have a telephone. He has to call a bonding agency. It would be helpful if you went there and maybe
Just go do it ourselves, okay.
either got in touch with the bondsman or brought a cashier's check for the full amount. Bondsman will probably do it for 10% though, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, good luck. John Davis.
President approaching, Your Honor. One moment, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Davis, what do we have here? I do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery. It's,
Can I say something, Your Honor?
I'd suggest you talk to Mr. Lewis first and then
Okay,
follow his advice. I'm sorry, Mr. Lopez. Ms. Lewis is here, so. All right.
You can keep going, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, probable cause for one count of domestic violence battery, we'd set his bond. Let's see.
Before you set a bond, Your Honor, state would ask PTR if there's any prior history to report.
Okay, yeah, Ms. Gibson, the request is any priors for him?
You looking for prior batteries?
Yes.
One second, because he has some. Hold on. There's an ag battery in 2018. May 2018, he has another battery out of Brevard County. Also with an ag battery and a robbery with a firearm. 2020, another ag battery, 2021, 2 counts of battery, and a sex assault, 2021, another sex assault.
dismiss.
Okay.
And 2007, there's an assault. I'm sorry, one more 2005 aggravated assault.
Do you see if any of those involve Shannon Weatherwalks? Weatherwalks.
No, she's not the same victim.
Okay. Okay, well, we could set his bond in the amount of $2,500, order no contact as a condition of release with Shannon Weatherwalks. If he has any weapons or firearms, those would be surrendered to law enforcement within 24 hours of release. And they need to maintain separate residences, of course, if they live together. If they do live together, Mr. Davis can return one time accompanied by law enforcement to obtain personal belongings while this is pending, okay? And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, Brenda Morales.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Are you Ms. Morales? Yes. All right, Ms. Morales, we do find probable cause for one count of driving with a license suspended or revoked. You do qualify, it looks like, for pretrial release, if you'd like to do that. We can order PTR, okay? Yes. All right, and we can appoint the PD to represent you. Thank you. But Isaiah Padilla Quevedo.
Hello.
Hey, are you Mr. Padilla Quevedo?
Yes.
All right. You've got a warrant, it looks like out of Broward County, and those are no bond. Okay, that's the easy part. I guess I could check in with the state. I was struggling with probable cause as to the local case 22 CF 1971, I think it is. I don't think he was ever put in the vehicle, was he?
No, Your Honor, the state has no argument for probable cause in this case.
Okay. So as to 22 CF 1971 was a fleeing and eluding, we do find, we'll ROR him as to that case. But he does have this Broward business. He's going to be held no bond. Arrangements will be made to get him transported to Broward, and we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him while he's in the Osceola County Jail, okay? Thank you, Mr. Padilla Quevedo. Good luck.
Was that PC on the ECU case?
No PC.
No. And then the Ada County case, the teletype showed that count 1 was 0 bond and count 2 was ROR.
Yeah, so, and I think that's consistent. He's got 2 counts out of Broward. Count 2 is ROR. It's count 1 that gives him trouble. That's no bond. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and Leonidas Reyes. Are you Mr. Reyes?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Reyes, good afternoon. I do find probable cause for one count of domestic violence assault, and I think we have someone here.
Karina.
How are you?
Anaya, good. How are you?
You raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And your full name is?
Karina Anaya.
Miss Anaya?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. And Miss Anaya, what is your relationship with Mr. Reyes here?
He's my husband.
How long have you been married?
10 years.
And you have kids?
I have 2 boys.
2, both with him?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of them has a birthday today.
Oh, wow. How old is he?
10. He turned 10.
10 years old. And you were visiting your mom or his?
My mother-in-law, we went over. We actually had very small, it was just us and a little gathering to celebrate my son's birthday. So we were there in her house.
Okay. And based on what I read, I did find probable cause for a domestic violence assault, which is threatening words, basically, okay? Has he done anything like this before with you?
No, he just had a little too much to drink. He did drink. He went, took a nap, a long nap. Woke up when it was time to leave. I got everything ready. And he wanted to get more, and I refused to take him because obviously today would have been a work day or had to be a work day. And he got upset. So.
And Rosario is your mother?
Mother-in-law, yes.
So it's his mom?
His mom.
She says this has happened before. Do you agree with that?
It happened.
According to the cop, Rosario?
No.
Rosario advised this was not the first time that Leonidas has made threats toward Karina during his
No,
alcoholic state.
when he drinks, he wants me to go. He gets upset. He gets upset that, he wants to go, but he's never threatened me to.
Did he drink a lot?
Did he drink a lot?
Does he?
He's gone he hasn't drunk in a while. He's gone the whole week. He's just home half a Saturday and Sunday. He is a truck driver, so.
And are you fearful of him?
No, he's a good dad. He's a good husband. He made the wrong choice.
Does the state have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple. Did you call the police in this?
My mother-in-law did.
Okay, if something threatening were to happen in the future, would you feel comfortable calling the police?
Yes.
And what's the address that you reside at?
4606 Mesa Verde Drive, St. Cloud, 34769.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will order no hostile contact, so he can go home, but if he gets violent or threatens you, you do have to call law enforcement,
Yes.
okay? He's not to have any hostile contact, and he's not to, while this is pending, Mr. Reyes, no alcohol, no drugs that are not prescribed to you by a physician, okay? As a condition of your release, we'll set your bond in the amount of $1,500. Hey, Ms. Gibson, does PTR, are they able to test for alcohol?
We are.
Can I order that as a condition of PTR? He gets tested for alcohol while this is pending?
Just alcohol or alcohol and drugs?
Both.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so ma'am, so while this is pending, he's going to report into pretrial release, and they're going to give him a test randomly to make sure he's complying with this court order.
Okay.
If the state doesn't file or this is dropped somehow, then all that goes away, but while this is pending, those are the conditions, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. We can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. All right, Joshua Vargas. Are you Mr. Vargas?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Vargas, I think you have two cases, 22 CF 1973, probable cause for use or possession of unauthorized identification, I believe. Bond would be set in the amount of $2,500. 2 counts of possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted felon. Bond would be set in the amount of $4,000 each count there. In your other case, we do find probable cause for 1 count of fleeing or eluding. Law enforcement with lights and sirens active, and we can set your bond in the amount of $5,000 there. Count 2, driving with a suspended or revoked license, and that would be a $500 bond. And we can appoint the office of the, and he's out on bond in 20,
That's 20 CT 7344, Your Honor.
7344. I was going to revoke or forfeit that bond, Mr. Lopez. I think he's also, it's written here that he's at least classified as an absconder out of Hendry County. Is that right, Ms. Gibson?
Yes, out of Hendry County, yes. He's on probation.
So I presume they have a hold on him, no bond?
Sorry, Ms. Gibson.
I don't have the information right now, Judge, but I can have my colleague check that if you need it checked.
Okay, I mean, they may just want to know that he's here, but the bond as to 20 CT is at 7344. That bond would be forfeited, okay? And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him in these cases. All right, thank you, Mr. Vargas. All right, how about Jason Winkle?
President approaching, Your Honor.
All right, are you Mr. Winkle?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Winkle. All right, I do find probable cause for 1 count of battery. I think it would be dating battery. They don't live together as far as I can tell. No one's been able to contact the victim alleged, so I would order no contact with her while this is pending. Bond would be set in the amount of $1,500. And let's see, it's Miss Feldman, Allison Feldman. So we do have to order no contact with her while this is pending. You're not to, so you do need to maintain separate residences. I think you already do. You're not to possess any firearms as a condition of release. If you have any, those would be surrendered to law enforcement within 24 hours of release. And we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Winkle. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Honor, defense would be requesting a one-time return with law enforcement if he has any belonging at her residence.
Yeah, that's fine. He can do that. And I know they don't live together, but he might have some stuff there, but yes. All right, Mr. Lopez, do you have anyone else?
That will be all for today, Your Honor.
Thanks. Thanks, Ms. Gibson.
Thank you, have a good one.
Thank you, you too. Late for a hearing, Lorenzo. I can sign and talk. I got a hearing I could do. It shouldn't take too long. I'll sign and talk.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Have a great day. Thanks for your help.
Is Mari Ixlava Vasquez? Okay, sir, can you? Good morning. Good
morning.
All right, so we have an interpreter through the headset. Are you hearing okay with the interpreter?
Yes.
All right, and sir, please state your full name.
It's Mari Sami Ixlach Vasquez. Sami Ixlach Vasquez. Yes.
Ms. Mari Sami Vasquez.
Sir, you are here on a charge of battery. I'm finding it as domestic violence related. I'm setting bond $1,500. I have no contact whatsoever with the case. Sure.
¿De cuánto la fianza?
How much is the bond?
Okay, bear with me as Madam Clerk getting me on a point here. There are two counts in this case. Both of them battery, domestic violence related. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Do we need to get your names on the record, by the way, or?
Taylor Fleming on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney. Letitia George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
And for the record, my name is Senior Judge Wilfredo Martinez. And sir, I'm finding probable cause on the two counts. On count one, I am setting bond at $1,000. Count two, I'm setting bond at $500. So that's a total of $1,500. Conditions are that you have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case. That means directly or indirectly. You cannot be calling them, you cannot be emailing them, texting them, and no contact whatsoever. Am I speaking too quickly, sir, interpreter?
My apologies, Your Honor.
Am I speaking too quickly for you?
So far, it's fine, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Please let me know if I'm rushing through this too much and you can't interpret, okay?
Certainly, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. You are to consume or possess no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession will be handed over to law enforcement immediately upon your release from custody. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim in the case. Is the victim's residence, victim's car, the victim themselves, victim's place of worship, any school that they may belong to. You get the idea. Just keep away 500 feet. Return one time to a shared residence with the assistance of law enforcement in order to retrieve any personal items. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, may the interpreter ask for the CF number?
2022 MM 294AA.
Thank you very much.
Please State your name.
Antonio Suarez.
Antonio Suarez.
Is there any victim here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly
Por favor,
swear or affirm?
I can hear.
Do you
My
solemnly-
apologies. Will we do this over the loudspeakers for both the defendants and the victim?
I can't hear anything.
She can't hear us.
I don't need a translation.
Says she doesn't need a translator.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Carol Toriro Gorra.
Thank you. State, I see you standing. Go ahead.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Suarez?
I'm the mother of his child, ex-partner.
Okay. Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, physically.
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
Sorry?
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
I believe alcohol was a little bit involved.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Sorry?
Do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
He's the father of my child, so I don't want to prohibit him to see my child, so I don't have a problem with.
Okay. And he qualifies for a program called pretrial release, meaning that he could be released without paying money to get out, but he'd be supervised here at the jail. So if he's supposed to have no contact with you, they make sure he's having no contact and so forth. Does that sound okay to you, or is that something you object to?
Yeah, it's okay.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let me, if I may ask you some questions. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
A little bit.
Is this better?
Yes, better.
Okay. And you indicated that you did not feel safe around him, is that correct?
Yes. I mean, we don't live together anymore. We've been separated for 6 months. So that was not an issue, but he harassed me a lot.
Okay, and is there any order in effect with regards to child contact or visitation?
No, I never put him in child support or any kind of, issue
Okay.
with my daughter. I let him freely see the daughter
That-
whenever
That's
he
something
wants.
that may need to be worked out. Regards to contact, I know you indicated he was the father of your child
Mhm.
and that you don't want to interfere with that.
Mhm.
But this system is not perfect, and it's something that you may need to go and address by other means, as I cannot at this time fashion something with regards to contact with you and contact with the child. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions about anything I've asked or
That last
said?
part, like, so what can I do? What do you suggest that I do?
I can't, I mean, I always would recommend you speak with an attorney who knows this
I
type
mean,
of
I can
material.
use, we can use a third person for arrange.
I'm not going to get into that in this type of order, okay? Because I'm here to deal with the criminal charge. I'm not here to deal with the domestic relations aspect of it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Any comment or questioning by the state?
No.
Any comments or questioning by the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so with regards to Mr. Suarez, sir, I am going to release you on pretrial release. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case. That is, no contact directly or indirectly. That means that you cannot telephone her, you cannot email her, you cannot text her, you cannot try to communicate with her through any third parties either. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim. I understand the two of you don't live together at this time.
Yes, so we don't live together, but he's staying in my mom's place, which is 4 houses down mine. So
I would like him to move out, and I don't know if the court can provide like a police or somebody so that can accompany him while he take out his stuff.
He doesn't live with you.
No, he doesn't live with me. He lives with my mom, which is 4 houses down to my house.
I'm not so sure I have authority
Okay.
to have him move out from a place. Do you own that house
No.
that your mother lives at?
No.
I don't believe I have authority to deal with that situation.
Okay.
All right? And so, but I am going to require that he maintain a separate residence from you,
Right.
that he possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, that he possess or control no weapons or firearms, any weapons or firearms within your control or possession, or to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim in the case, and that includes her person, her residence, her car, her place of employment, if she goes to school, her place of education, her place of worship, and any stores that you know that she frequents. Anything else, State Defense?
Your Honor.
No.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, may the interpreter respectfully ask for the case number?
2022 MM 4631.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Please state your name, sir.
Rivera.
Andres Felipe Oliver Rivera.
Is there any victim here on this case?
No, Your Honor.
No? Okay. Sir, you are here on a charge of battery, domestic violence related. I have reviewed the arrest affidavit and find probable cause. I am setting bond at $1,500. I am requiring that you have no contact with the victim in the case, that is directly or indirectly. That means you cannot call them, text them, email them, or even have another person message from you to them. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You are to consume or possess no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You may return to any shared residence one time with the assistance of law enforcement in order to retrieve any personal effects. I'm going to require that you maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the person of the victim, the person's residence, the person's vehicle, the person's place of employ, their educational institution, if they are attending a college or educational facility, their place of worship, and any stores that they are known to frequent. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Any questions, any comments, counsel?
I was going to ask for pretrial release in this case.
I saw that he does qualify for pretrial release. I do not have a victim present here today, so I'll just leave it at the $1,500. Thank you.
And Your Honor, may the interpreter ask for the case number?
2022 MM 4645.
Thank you very much.
All right, is that it for the interpreter?
Yes, if
All right, thank you, sir, interpreter, for your assistance this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Thank you. And how do I release the interpreter from here? It just goes back on its own? Okay. Morning. How can we help you?
Casual attire here today. I was working up out of bed. Yeah, so she hasn't, my client, do you want the case number?
we just need the name.
Shinodi, Chonody.
Okay, what's actually?
Was here, yeah.
Thank you. We'll find out.
Nobi? CH, I think. Oh.
Sorry about that, Your Honor.
All right, and so let's just make sure I've got the right paperwork here. I've got, what's your client's name, sir?
It's Shinodi, Chonody, Kathy.
And your name, sir?
My name's Attorney Mark Justin Yonker.
Yonker, or?
Yonker, yes, sir.
All right, thank you. And I have, can you please state your full name?
Kathy Shinodi.
All right. I have you here on an arrest affidavit. I have reviewed it. I find it is domestic related. It is a charge of battery, touching, or striking. Counsel, what would you like to let the court know?
Yeah, I believe that she has no priors or any history. Seeing if she could be released on pretrial. If not, if we could just get a bond set.
Does she qualify, state? By the time I find this paperwork, does she qualify? Oh, thank you.
She could qualify, Your Honor.
Well, according to this paperwork, she doesn't.
We didn't get to interview her. Yeah, but she can qualify because she has no history.
How does the victim is not here, correct?
That's correct.
And state has no objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So at this point then, we're going to, and counsel, have you submitted an appearance on behalf of your client?
I have not. I was just here this morning interviewing my client, and then I thought she wasn't going to be seen until 1, so I have not.
Are you going to be retained to represent her with this case?
I don't believe so, depending on the dispositions here today.
So you're here on a limited appearance?
A limited appearance, yes, sir.
Can you write it down in paper so at least we have something on file?
Absolutely, sure.
That's just for everyone's protection.
Absolutely, yeah. Whatever way you'd like me to do that.
Well, it's what the rules would require you to do.
Would you like me to submit a motion? Okay.
All right, but at this point then, at least for the record, you are announcing a limited appearance for today's purposes only, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Shinodi, is that your understanding?
Yes.
Do you understand what we said, though?
Yeah, that it's just a
Do you
limited.
understand he's not, counsel is indicating he's not here to represent you throughout this case. He's here just to help you this morning.
Correct.
Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. And so we're going to release you on pretrial release.
Okay.
I'm setting conditions that you are to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case. That means directly or indirectly. You cannot telephone, no texting, no emailing. You cannot send messages via third persons. So no contact, there's no contact.
Yes.
You are to maintain or separate residence from the victim. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control of possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You may return one time to a shared residence with the assistance of law enforcement in order to retrieve any personal effects. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the alleged victim at all times. That's 500 feet away from the person of the victim, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employment, their place of worship, their educational institution, if they're attending any type of college or schooling, and any stores that you know that they frequent. All right? Anything else, counsel?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Can I put it back, or what do you want to do with this? Okay, thank you.
What's the best way for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Neal is mental health.
Is that Micah Neal or Nail?
Yes.
I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent them.
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I have them on a charge of soliciting without a permit. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit, find probable cause. I'm setting bond at $250. Is there mental health pretrial release in this jurisdiction?
Yes, I would ask that he be screened, Your Honor.
All right, the court has no objection to mental health pretrial release if he qualifies. State, any comment on that?
No, Your Honor.
No? Thank you. Please approach and state your name.
Philip Mclachlan.
All right, and sir, let's see. You are here on 3 counts. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Count 1 is criminal mischief, over $1,000. Bond on that is set at
Your Honor,
$1,000.
I do believe we have a victim approaching.
I'm so sorry.
We have a victim here.
Oh, okay, thank you. Count 2 is resisting officer without violence. Bond at that is set at $500. Count 3 is battery, dating violence. And at this point, I've been informed we have a victim here. Morning.
Morning. Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Yes. Please state your name for the record. Abigail Burtley.
I'm so sorry?
Abigail Burtley.
Thank you.
Good morning, Miss Burtley. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Mclachlan?
Ex-boyfriend.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Yes.
Approximately how long ago would you say the last time was, other than this incident?
The last time he was arrested, I think that was last year.
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
No.
Do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
No.
And do you currently live together?
No.
Right. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Right. Defense, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor. Okay. No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Any comments by the state?
No, Your Honor. State would just ask for the standard conditions.
All right. Any comments by defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And sir, with regards to the charge of battery, dating violence, I'm going to set bond at $1,500. You're to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case, that is directly or indirectly, so you cannot text, email, telephone, communicate by any other type of social media. You cannot have third persons try to send messages on your behalf. You're to, if applicable, maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You're to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the person of the victim, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employ, their educational institutions, their place of worship, and any store that you know that they frequent. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. If you would hand that to Madam Clerk, I'd appreciate it. That's his notice of appearance. Thank you, sir, very much. I'm so sorry? We've got the case number, limited appearance, your name, and the name of the, I think that's fine.
Awesome.
All right, and again, this is good in order to help protect you and your involvement in the case. Thank you, sir.
Good.
Please state your name, sir.
Marshal Middendorf, Your Honor.
Please bear with me a moment. All right. And sir, you are here on an arrest affidavit with 2 counts. First count is aggravated assault, domestic violence related. Second count is battery, domestic violence related. I am finding that there is probable cause for the charges. Is there a victim in this case?
No, Your Honor.
Please bear with me. With regards to count 1, I'm setting bond at $1,500. With regards to count 2, I'm setting bond at $1,000. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case. That means directly or indirectly, so that you cannot telephone the victim, you cannot speak to the victim, you cannot email the victim, etc. You cannot have other people communicate with the victim on your behalf. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim. As long as counsel is standing next to you, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you in the case, sir. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You may return to any shared residence with the assistance of law enforcement one time in order to retrieve your personal belongings. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the person of the victim at all times, their vehicle, their residence, their employment, their place of worship, and any educational institutions and stores that you know that they frequent. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir. Count 2 was 1,000. Yeah, so it's 1,500 plus 1,000, so it's a total of 2,500. Please state your name.
Robin Walker.
I'm so sorry.
Robin Walker, sorry.
Thank you.
No problem.
You are here on a arrest affidavit with 2 counts. First count is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Count 2 is resisting officer without violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I see that we have individuals in the, from the public. Are you here on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your names for the record.
Denitra Willingham.
Damon Willingham, sir.
I'm so sorry, sir. I couldn't understand what you said. I'm so sorry. Please.
Denitra Willingham.
Damon Willingham, sir.
Thank you so much.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Miss Willingham first. Can you please state your relationship to Miss Walker?
Right now, she's just a friend for the last couple of months.
And I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble hearing. Could you get a little closer?
I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm so sorry.
No. Don't apologize. Please do not. But just try to get a little closer. That might help.
All right. So, like, she's like kind of like a sister type of best friend. We're not in a relationship or anything, but it's cool, whatever.
Are you afraid of her?
No,
Has anything like this ever happened before?
no. Towards with me, not with her.
Okay. Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
No, ma'am.
And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Do I want to do what?
Have contact with her while this case is pending.
Yes.
All right, no further questions, Your Honor.
How about the other individual? Do you wish to say anything?
Your Honor, she's not really much of a bad threat, Your Honor. She's actually a good person. She's not really a bad threat.
I'm so sorry, she's not.
She's
what?
not really a bad threat to the community, sir. It's
Okay.
just this one day. It's nothing bad going on. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you. Any questions by the state
No, sir.
of this young man? No? Any questions? I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
No, Your Honor.
No questions. All right, thank you both for coming today.
Your Honor, just for the record, Ms. Walker does have at least 2 prior batteries. One from 2019, it was misdemeanor bat DV, and Ms. Willingham was the alleged victim in that case. However, it was no prost.
She's not violent.
All right. Any
And
comments?
another thing with the knife situation, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was a knife. So when I called the police back, when I got back to my car, I actually seen what it was that she had in her hand. But they told me like it wasn't nothing they could do. They already took her. So when I tried to call again, they said she wasn't even here.
Okay.
I didn't even know they charged her with a knife or whatever they said. So I didn't think that was crazy.
Okay. Any other comment from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, now you did indicate that she had a prior, but it was a null pros?
2019, yes, Your Honor, was a bat DV with Ms. Willingham and Ms. Walker, but it was a no bill.
Any other violent charges in her past?
That's all that I see within Orange County, Your Honor, other than juvenile history and driving history.
Okay, thank you. All right, so with regards to count 1, I'm setting bond at $2,500. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case. That means no contact, directly or indirectly. You cannot email, you cannot text, you cannot have third parties communicate, you can have any contact through social media. If applicable, you are to maintain a separate residence from the victim.
They don't live together, Your Honor. They don't reside together, they live separately.
I understand, but just to avoid a situation where you never know what the future might bring. You are to consume or possess no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim in the case. That means their person, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employment, their place of worship, their school, and any store that you know that they frequent. With regards to count 2, resisting without violence, I'm setting bond there at $500. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your
No, I got a question. I'm trying to figure out why is that 2,500? Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
You said the bail was 2,500?
correct. It'll be a total of 3,000. It's 2,500 on count number 1 and 500 on count number 2.
Why is it so high? It was like no statements wrote or anything.
So
It was everything was said out of anger.
It's 10% with the bail bondsman, so she doesn't have to pay the full 25.
if you go to a bonding agent, you pay, what counsel is saying is you pay 10% of the total amount to the bonding agent, and they help you out with that. Also, another reason is that the bonding agent helps maintain contact with them, reminds them of when to come back to court. You see what I'm saying? So,
I didn't want no parts of this. I didn't even know that I was involved in anything because I told him I just wanted my cell phone. That was it.
well, I saw.
Nobody was hurt.
Yeah, the Office of the Public Defender is appointed to represent you. I'm sure that they will have contact with you in the near future with regards to what'll happen next. And so just make sure, I believe your contact information is in the charging affidavit. And so keep a lookout. I'm sure that the Office of the Public Defender will be contacting you in the near future.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Please state your name. Your name, sir?
William Bain.
All right, and sir, you are here on a charge of battery, domestic violence related. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I see that we have an individual in the booth.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Please state your name for the record.
Mariah Smith.
State your main inquire.
Good morning, Miss Smith. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Bain?
My mother's baby father.
Are you afraid of him?
Yeah.
Do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
No, I just want to know when he's released.
I'm so sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
Sorry, I said no. I just want to know when he's released.
And do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
Not at that time, no.
And do you live in the same residence as him?
No, my mother does.
No further questions, Your Honor.
And I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, sir. Are any questions by defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. In this case, I am setting bond at $1,500. You are to have no contact whatsoever, directly or indirectly, with the victim in the case. That means that you cannot try to talk to them, you cannot call them, text them, email them, any type of contact through social media, and you cannot have any third parties try to communicate on your behalf with the victim. You're to, if applicable, maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the person of the victim, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employ, their place of education, the place of worship, and any stores that you know that they frequent. If applicable, you may return one time to the residence with the assistance of law enforcement in order to retrieve personal belongings. You have a question. Why don't you run it by counsel first?
We're just trying to see.
On yours, because you have the paper, does it just list her as the victim? Her and the mother.
So it's both?
Yes, both.
Oh, okay.
There's technically should be two charges, I believe. They only charged one, but since they're both listed as
My mother didn't go through only because of the kids. She don't want the kids, anything to happen to the kids, because they said DCF would be involved. So she was like, for the kids' sake, she didn't go through and sign the papers.
We're just trying to clarify, Your Honor, the no contact order, if the no contact order is just against this victim or the mom as well.
The mom is also listed as the victim.
That's why we were trying to clarify so
All
he
right,
doesn't.
and thank you for asking. And there are two victims in the case. This no contact order is with regards to both victims in the case, and thank you for the clarification. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Your Honor, if I may. In regards to when he's released, you most likely will not be called by someone here at the jail. However, there is a website that you can look at who's in jail. Your best bet is probably just to keep checking that, okay?
Okay.
And I'll give you a card that has the state attorney's phone number on it, as well as his case number in case you want to call.
Just
Thank you.
to ask, as long as we have individuals from corrections here, and how long is it taking now for a person to be once the bond amount is met, how long is it taking for the person to be processed out? 4 to 6 hours once the bond is taken care of? Okay, got it. All right, thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Please state your name.
Brittany Krauss.
Hello?
You are here on a charge of battery, dating violence related. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, and I find probable cause. Is there someone coming in on this?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yeah,
Please state your name for the record.
Robert Kersey.
Go ahead, Counsel.
Good morning, Mr. Kersey. Can you please state your relationship to Miss Cross?
My girlfriend.
Are you afraid of her?
Nah.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No.
If anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
No, I'm not calling 911.
If you felt threatened in the future, you would not call 911?
No.
Okay.
She's not going to threaten. There's no threat.
And do you want to have contact with her while the case is pending?
Yes, absolutely.
Your Honor, state has no further questions.
Defense, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I believe this individual qualifies for PTR, is that correct?
She does, yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I am going to release you through the pretrial release program. As conditions of release, I am going to require that you have no contact with the victim in the case. That is, no contact directly or indirectly. You cannot talk to him, you cannot call him, you cannot text him, you cannot email him. You cannot have any third parties try to communicate
That's bullshit.
on your
Are we
behalf.
able to request the no?
Hey, that's bullshit.
Are we able to request the no
Hold on a
violent?
second. Bear with me a moment, okay? Sir, I would request that you please not swear in the courthouse.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. And sir, if you have nothing else to say, would you please step out of the booth? Because I don't want you to say anything that you might regret later
No,
on.
I'm fine.
Step out of the booth, please.
I didn't see any type of any other criminal history. But I would ask for a no hostile contact. They've never had
All
any
right.
issues before.
I understand that, but there are factors within this charging affidavit that, in my experience, this time might assist them in trying to resolve their issues long-term by getting certain type of professional help, perhaps, using this case as a catalyst to try to get things realigned between the two of them, if they are going to choose to maintain a relationship. And so this is kind of a wake-up call. All right, and so maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over to law enforcement immediately upon your release from custody. You may return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve any personal effects that you have, personal possessions. You are to maintain a distance of 500 feet away from the victim in the case. That's 500 feet away from him, his residence, his vehicle, his place of employ. If he's going to school. And so, is he okay out there? And so, any questions, counsel?
No.
All right, thank you so much. Please.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Blendine Vilsain.
Put your hand down.
All right. And can you please state your full name? Please state your.
Yoelis Piafels.
I'm so sorry.
Yoelis Piafels.
Last name is Fils?
Yes, Lieutenant.
All right. And go ahead, counsel. You may inquire.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Phils?
Ex-boyfriend.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No.
If anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
Yes.
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
No.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
No.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Counsel, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may ask one more question.
Yes, go ahead.
He qualifies for a program called pretrial release. I don't know if you heard me explain it earlier, but it's basically him being able to get out of jail without paying any money. However, he'd be supervised by staff here at the jail to make sure whatever conditions that the judge sets, he's following and abiding by. Does that sound okay to you, or is that something that you would object to?
I would object to, but I do have a question.
Okay. What is your question?
It's not only him in the case. It was 4 people that attacked me. So is this case just the first case, or do I have to appear for the other 3 people?
I don't believe there were arrests for the other 3 at this time. So I do not know the answer to that question right now. However, I can give you a card for the state attorney's office and you can talk to them then.
4 people were arrested at the scene. I don't know their full names.
I didn't see them on it. I saw it stated that, but I didn't see them in our.
I saw that there was a co-defendant, but I didn't see that there was anything. Yeah.
I just saw that.
This is a rather lengthy affidavit. I believe this one had an allegation of a bat. Is that correct, State?
I know it's in a parking lot.
Okay, that's not.
I don't believe it's this one, Your Honor.
No, it's not on this case. I mean, it's not between it's not involving this individual, is that correct? If you look, it's about the third sentence. Bill Saint stated, Uwasi opened her door, dragged her out of the vehicle, and struck her with a bat 1 time to the head. That does not involve Mr. Phils here, correct?
No, it's,
Mr. Uwasi,
yeah.
who's listed as a co-defendant. However, I don't see.
I just wanted to make sure I was reading this correctly.
I just didn't see that they were arrested, Your Honor.
Right. And again, it's a detailed affidavit, so I just want to double check.
I don't see that. It may be filing charges with the state attorney's office as a non-arrest. However, I don't see an affidavit for any of the other people.
4 people were
Today?
arrested on the scene.
I don't see an affidavit for them to be addressed this morning. So just to address your question on if you'll have to come back, at this time, I do not know.
Who do I ask that?
I'm gonna give you a card that has a phone number on it, and it's gonna have the case number as well, so that our system can easily look you up, and someone should be able to give you more information about what happened with the other 3 people, okay?
Okay.
Counsel, I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause for the charge of battery, dating, violence related. Any comments before I address the release and conditions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. At this point, I know that the person here has indicated that they would prefer a cash bond, but I also understand that they don't understand the pretrial release program. And one thing I would like to explain is that it is my understanding that, and I'm addressing the person in the booth for purposes of the record, the pretrial release program maintains better contact and vigilance over the individual than a bonding agent. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like a probation checkup?
That's a loose, a very loose type of correlation, but yeah, something like that. The person would have to be calling in and is subject to spot investigations. And so it's a bit of more supervision than what a bonding agent normally would do. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right, thank you. Counsel, any comment?
No comment, Your Honor.
All right, and so at this point, it's my understanding that he does qualify for the pretrial release program. Is that correct, State?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to release him through the pretrial release program. Again, addressing the alleged victim in the case, I believe that this gives a little bit better supervision, as this case also does not call for a high bond either. So it's either a low bond or pretrial release. I'd rather do pretrial release. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim in the case whatsoever, directly or indirectly. That means that you cannot talk to them face-to-face, you cannot call them, email them, text them, contact them through any social media, or have any other person try to convey a message between you and them. You are to, if applicable, maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim in the case, the victim's residence, their vehicle, their place of employment, their place of worship, their place of education, and any store that you know that they frequent. Any comment, counsel? Anything else? All right, thank you.
Ma'am, I also emailed the state attorney who's gonna have this case to let her know that she should expect a call from you to figure out what happened with the other 3 people, okay?
Okay.
All right, I am going to, is there anyone here from the public on the case of Mr. Ford?
I do not believe so, Your Honor.
All right, I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent Andrew Ford. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause for the charge of battery, domestic violence related. I'm setting bond at $1,500 to have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case, to maintain a separate residence from the victim, to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within their control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon the release from custody. They may return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to the shared residence in order to retrieve personal possessions. They're to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the person of the victim, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employ, their place of worship, their educational institution, and any stores that they are known to frequent. Any comments, counsel?
No, Your Honor, and I will waive his appearance.
Thank you. Please state your name, sir.
Nathan Guerra.
All right. And sir, You're here on a charge of battery domestic violence related. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you at this time. I see no one from the public here in this case. Is there any comment from the state?
Your Honor, state we just asked for the standard conditions and a reasonable bond.
All right, any comments from defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and sir, I'm setting bond at $1,500 in this case. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case. That is directly or indirectly, so that means you cannot talk to them face-to-face, you cannot telephone them, text them, email them, try to any contact through any type of social media. You cannot have a third party or an individual try to communicate or on your behalf with the alleged victim. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You may return to any shared residence one time with the assistance of law enforcement in order to retrieve any personal possessions. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim's residence, their vehicle, their place of employment, their house of worship, any educational institutions, and any stores that you know that they frequent. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
You didn't qualify him for pretrial release, right? Yeah, you don't qualify.
Please state your name.
Ramon Morello.
Is there a member of the public here? No. All right. Sir, you're here with regards to a charge of battery. Please bear with me a moment. I'm finding it is domestic violence related. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. State, it's my understanding that this individual was here with the alleged victim on a vacation or something like that? They're from Texas?
Yes.
Yes, Your
Um, State, do you know if they have a residence in Florida, or were they staying at a hotel?
Honor. Not to my knowledge, Your Honor. I believe potentially they're staying at the Sheraton Hotel on North Lake Destiny Road. So in addition to a separate residence, state would ask for a no return to that hotel.
I'm sorry, please say that again.
I believe they were staying at a hotel, the Sheraton. So state would ask for an addition to a separate residences when they return back to Texas, a no return to the Sheraton at 600 North Lake Destiny Road.
I would just ask for a one-time return with law enforcement, Your Honor, because all his belongings is there.
Do we know if they're still at the hotel?
Yes, Your Honor, they plan on going back to Texas on Wednesday.
And was the state having any position with regards to contact? Is it no contact, no hostile contact?
Your Honor, given that the victim's not here to testify, state would ask for no contact.
Okay, any position, defense?
No, Your Honor, that's the standard if the victim doesn't show to court, Your Honor.
All right, I'm inquiring because there was a comment from the state, something about them going back to Texas. If I impose a no contact, they're not going back together. I
Yes, Your
didn't
Honor.
know if you had any additional information with regards to that situation.
No, Your Honor, they would just have to travel back to Texas separately.
And he would not qualify for pretrial release, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
State, does he have any priors?
I don't have access to his Texas history as I don't have an FCIC. However, it does seem that he does have some out-of-state history from Texas. It appears most of it does appear to be alcohol-related, public intoxication, assault, Dwellis, DUI, potentially another DUI.
Your Honor,
Yes.
the only thing that I would ask is that you set the bond at least lower it to a $500 bond, only because he lives in Texas. He's not going to have access to the bail bondsman, the 10%, because he's out of state. So I just asked for a $500 bond as opposed to $1,000. He's a military veteran. I believe he has no failures to appear here. All I see is the 2009 public intoxication was the last conviction. He did 10 years in the Navy. And also, I would point to the fact that the victim did state she did not want to move forward with pressing charges.
I see that he is a veteran, is that correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there any considerations that are given with regards to veterans in this jurisdiction, any type of special programs for release or?
Well, not regarding release, Your Honor. However, there's Veterans Court that he could qualify at a later time. However, not regarding release. It's same conditions, same bond would apply.
In reviewing the paperwork that is prepared with regards to the possibility of qualifying for pretrial release, there is a bit of a history here.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe he would be a good candidate for Veterans Court. I believe there may be an alcohol problem, but we do have a good program with the Public Defender's Office, so we'll be able to get him some services and things like that, Your Honor.
Any position by the state with regards to the bond to be set?
Your Honor, state has no objection to defense's recommendation of 500 or 1,000, given that he doesn't have community ties here. And one of the purposes of the bond is to ensure his appearance at further court dates to handle these charges. So state will leave it within your discretion. However, state has no objection to the 500 that defense.
But let me inquire of defense. Paperwork I'm looking at is indicating length of previous employment, 28 years. And so I don't know if that means that he's presently employed and has been employed for 28 years. It just seems like a category on this paperwork, or if he was previously employed. If you will, I don't know if that's something the defense may want to educate me on.
He was working, Your Honor, but he's retired from Dow Chemical.
All right, and so it shows, to me, it carries a lot of weight when you've been at an employment. It shows responsibility. And so, all right, very good. So at this point, I'm going to set bond at $500, as the defense and the state have convinced me. But you are to have no contact with the victim in the case whatsoever. So there is an indication that you were thinking of perhaps driving back together. That's not going to happen. All right, sir? I'm going to, as I said, you have no contact with the victim whatsoever, directly or indirectly. You cannot speak with the person directly, email them, text them, try to communicate via any type of social media, or use a third person to try to communicate between the two of you. I'm going to require that you maintain a separate residence from the victim in the case. That means that you cannot return to the hotel where the two of you are at this time. You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement in order to retrieve personal belongings. I'm going to require that you maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim at all times. That means the victim's person, their residence, their place of employ, their vehicle, their educational institutions, their house of worship, and any stores that you know they frequent. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. And also, just to make it clear, there is no return to the hotel. You can return one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense? All right, thank you. Please state your name.
Carla Polonio.
And we do have an individual here.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Can you state your name for the record?
Jose Cruz.
Thank you.
And state your main inquire.
Good morning, Mr. Cruz. Can you please state your relationship to Miss Polonio?
I'm her boyfriend.
Are you afraid of her?
Absolutely not.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No, never.
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved?
No, I don't.
Do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes.
And she qualifies for the pretrial release program that we've been
Yes.
speaking about before. Do you have any objection?
No, ma'am. If I can say something, Your Honor, I just feel like this is all a misunderstanding. This occurred on Saturday. We just had a heated argument. You know, we're young and we got into it, and it was nothing too bad. The next day we got home, we slept together. She took me to work. After work, we talked about it. We were good, and it was her mother came to my house, called the police and all that. We didn't want any of that because we already spoke as adults and we handled that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. State, any follow-up questions?
No, Your Honor.
I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent her. Counsel, do you have any questions of this individual?
No, Your Honor.
And, all right. And so, Ms. Poloni, I have reviewed the arrest affidavit, find probable cause to the charge of battery domestic violence related. It's my understanding you qualify for pretrial release. I'm going to have you released through the pretrial release program. Based upon testimony here, does state have any position with regards to, or state of defense, any position with regards to contact?
Your Honor, state has no objection to a no hostile, given the victim's testimony.
All right, and so defense?
It's the same, Your Honor. No hostile contact.
Thank you. And so at this point, I'm going to release you through the pretrial release program. You are to have no hostile contact with the victim in the case. That means you may communicate with each other, but no hostile contact. That means that if there is hostile contact between you and the individual who's here today, the alleged victim, this person can call the police, and you're going to be facing a much more serious situation. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I'm going to require that you consume or possess no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, that you possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, defense?
No, Your
No.
Honor.
All right, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Your
sir.
Honor. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Please state your name.
Lori Sparron.
And no one here in the public on the case? No? Okay, I just saw the door close. You're here on a charge of battery, domestic violence related. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Bear with me a moment. I see that you qualify for the pretrial release program,
Yes, Your Honor.
and I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Any comment from the state with regards to pretrial release?
State has no objection, Your Honor, given the allegations within the affidavit.
All right, and so anything from the defense?
Just that the victim is here, Your Honor. He just doesn't want to come into the booth.
Is that the gentleman sitting out there?
Yes. I don't know if you-
He isn't here, my son. That's my husband over there.
Oh, okay, so it's the husband. Okay, nope, Your Honor, I would ask for pretrial release. She does qualify.
All right, state, are you aware that there is the alleged victim in the waiting room here?
It's not, I guess it's.
not.
It's a witness, Your Honor.
Well, that's her, okay, got it, thank you. And so, state, any position with regards to pretrial release? I'm sorry.
State has no objection, Your Honor, with a no contact.
All right, and so I'm going to release you through the pretrial release program. I'm going to, now this was, I believe, the mother of the victim.
Yes,
State,
Your
do you have any position with regards to contact or no hostile contact?
Your Honor, given that the victim's not here to testify whether he would like contact or not, state would ask for no contact at this time with standard conditions.
I got something already.
In defense, do they reside in the same place?
Yes, Your Honor, but my client already has somewhere else to go.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to release through the pretrial release program. You're to have no contact whatsoever with the victim in the case, directly or indirectly. That means that you cannot talk to them face-to-face, you cannot call them, you cannot text them, email them, try to contact them through any type of social media, or ask anyone else to contact them on your behalf. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You are to, as I said, maintain a separate residence from the victim of the case. You may return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim in the case. That's the victim's person, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employ, their place of worship, place of education, and any stores that you know they frequent. Anything else, defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, anything else, State? All right,
Your
thank you. Please state your name.
Ashley Granderson Williams.
You are here on a charge of battery, domestic violence related. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defenders to represent you at this time. State, any comment on the case?
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond and same conditions.
Defense, any comment?
She does qualify for pretrial release. I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right. We don't have anyone left in the waiting room, correct? So there's no
Yes,
one
Your
here
Honor.
on this case.
State would just ask for a reasonable bond.
Okay.
The allegations within the warrant or in the affidavit is that she grabbed him by the neck and then impeded his breathing. This arguably could have been charged as a bad strangulation, which would have been an F3. So state would just ask for a reasonable bond.
And so I'm going to set bond at $1,500. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim in the case. That means no contact directly. You can't talk to them. You cannot call them, email them, text them, try to contact them via any type of social media. You cannot have any other person act as an intermediary and try to communicate with them via a third person. You are to maintain a separate residence from the victim. You are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release from custody. You may return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve any personal belongings. You are to maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the victim in the case. That's 500 feet away from the individual, their residence, their vehicle, their place of employment, their place of worship, or educational institutions, and any stores that you know they frequent. Anything else, State Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you.
So he gave
When's the next court appearance?
All right, with regards to the next case,
We have to pass that case. Ms. Sweet's not ready.
You said Montanez?
yes, Rafael Montañez, corrections officer, informs me that he is in medical.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent him for now.
And I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, for the record, this is an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County with regards to I believe it's a Dwillis? Yes. And bond in that case has been set at $450. You said we'll skip Caruso? Okay. Please state your name.
Oscar Teles.
All right, sir. You're here on a couple of things. One is an arrest affidavit with regards to a charge of soliciting without a permit. I've reviewed that charging affidavit, find probable cause. I'm appointing the office of the public defender to represent you at this time. Bond on that case is set at $500. You are also here on a violation of probation with regards to, this was an on-view violation of probation. And bond on that has been set at $1,000. You understand what I have said, sir?
Yes, sir.
Anything from the defense?
You said a bond is set
beyond view.
Yes, I can.
Can you please identify yourself for the record?
This is Leslie Sweet on behalf of Susan Noel Caruso.
Bear with me a moment. Hello, testing. Can you just say testing 1, 2, 3, please?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's a. Can you say testing again?
Testing.
Yeah, thank you. It's just that the audio on this side is a bit low, but we can hear you okay, I think, at this point. Please state your name.
Leslie A. Sweet on behalf of Susan Noel Caruso.
All right, and I'm addressing the person before me. Please state your name.
Susan Noel Krauss. Susan Noel Krauss.
Thank you. Counsel, what would you like to let us know?
I have filed NOAs on all of her cases. There is only one glitch. The state attorney's office filed an information on the 2022 case, but the jail needs to fix the bond.
I'm sorry, the jail what?
The jail needs to fix the bond on the 2022 case because the state attorney's office did not file on trafficking. It filed on the meth and the.
When you're referring to the 2022 case?
Your Honor, in 22 CF 3446, I believe that's the case that Ms. Sweet is referring to. The warrant originally came in, the trafficking, firearm, and conviction of a felony, and the cannabis. State filed an information in June, only filing possession of a firearm by a convicted felon in F2 and possession of meth in F3. So state would just ask that you set bonds as to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, F2, and possession of meth in F3, and ROR as to that count 1, trafficking in meth over 14. State did not file that. I believe that is what Ms. Sweet is referring to, Your Honor.
Is that?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, that is.
Let me start with the less complicated ones, starting with the first warrant arrest affidavit I have. This is with regards to a violation of probation And this is case number 2020-CF8096AO. These are violations of probation with regards to a charge of possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. The judge in that case has set that violation of probation at a no bond status. And then, with case number 2020-CF10876AO, that's also a violation of probation, and with regards to charges of possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia, the judge has set that at a no bond status. Are these? Wait a minute, is this the same? Then, now we'll deal with the third matter I have is, I have is a warrant arrest affidavit. And information has been filed in that case. That's 2022-CF3446. Count 1 is possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Count 2 is possession of methamphetamine. And so at this point, counsel, I'm so sorry, Ms. Sweet, what are you requesting with regards to count 1 and count 2?
What the state requested that we, you just do bond schedule on count 1 and count 2. Somebody's talking, but I can't hear them.
Yeah, Madam Clerk is reviewing the paperwork with me. And so,
Your Honor, state we just request 5,000 on the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and 1,000 on possession of meth, which I believe follows the bond schedule.
so the trafficking charges has not been filed on. What I have is possession of a firearm, and state is saying 5,000 on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then possession of meth, you're saying?
1,000.
1,000. All right,
I
Ms.
for 2,500 on the possession of firearm by a convicted felon.
All right.
Here's a history.
Okay, I am going to, with regards to the case, I'm going to set bond on count 1, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon at $5,000. Count 2, possession of meth at $1,000. Any other conditions, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Attorney Sweet, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
The defendant was booked in on 3 counts. The state has not filed on the trafficking in meth. Is that correct, state?
Yes, Your Honor. State we just asked for an ROR, so she's not held on that.
All right.
She'll otherwise be held on the VOP.
And we're going to ROR her on the possession, I'm sorry, on the trafficking. All right, Attorney Sweet?
Thank you.
All right, and thank you, ma'am, for being here.
Bye-bye.
No.
It should be, all 3 of those charges are different than what we have now.
In other words, the state is not pursuing the possession of cannabis.
So that's the one.
Count, on the warrant, count 1, 2, and 3 are completely different than what we filed. Because it was, on the warrant, it was possession of a firearm and commission of a felony.
The record will R her on the cannabis charge, just in case.
Yes.
Because Madam Clerk is showing another count for possession. Yeah. Just to avoid any type of confusion in the jail for release, then we will R her on the possession of cannabis, understanding that the state is not filing on that, but just to avoid her getting snagged in the correction system, okay? All right, anything else for this session?
33-day motions, Your Honor.
So sorry?
33-day motions.
Okay. Bear with me. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon. For the record, this is Judge Martinez. Right.
Thank you, Your Honor. If you allow me just a moment to connect to the headphones and confirm, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
All right, thank you. Please state your name.
Edwin Esmurria Torres.
Edwin Asmurria Torres.
And sir, you are here on a charge of grand theft, third degree, motor vehicle. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and we find probable cause. I'm appointing the office of the public defender to represent you at this time. Bond is set at $1,000. I also see that you are out on bond on a charge of disorderly conduct. I am revoking that bond. Any comment, State Defense?
I'm sorry, Counsel, you can kindly approach your microphone.
Your Honor, I'm asking that you revoke and double. I believe it was a pretrial diversion. He had no other convictions on his record. So if you are inclined to revoke, I would ask that you revoke and double. When I looked, I didn't see an attorney. I'm just trying to make sure. I know he was in pretrial diversion because of the lack of criminal history.
Your Honor, given that he's out on bond for disorderly conduct, municipal ordinance, and doesn't have any other convictions, state has no objection to you revoking and doubling, due to it not being a violent offense.
Based upon my reading of the arrest affidavit, we'll leave it or no bond status.
And you're appointing us because he has no attorney.
And for your information, counsel, for all these proceedings here today, I'll be appointing the public defender in case anyone,
I think it was rejected from pretrial, by the way.
unless they've indicated they have private counsel.
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Unless they've indicated they have private counsel.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I would be asking for your help in all cases
You speak English?
today.
You have to call the attorney because he revoked the out on bond to set it
Your Honor,
up.
the interpreter can respectfully request the case number for this last defendant, please.
Surely.
2022 CF 8030.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
No problem.
Please state your name, sir.
Carlos Juan Rodríguez Rodríguez.
Carlos Juan Rodriguez Rodriguez.
All right, sir, you are here on warrant arrest with regards to charges. Count 1, armed carjacking. Count 2, grand theft motor vehicle. Count 3, grand theft firearm. Count 4, aggravated assault with a firearm. Appointing the office of the public defender to represent you. With regards to the charges, the judge set the warrant, count 1 at no bond status, count 2 at 1,500, count 3 at no bond status, count 4 at no bond status. Counsel, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Your Honor. As to count 1, given that it is a first degree felony that's punishable by life, state's asking that it remain at no bond, and you set reasonable bonds on 3 and 4, as he is otherwise entitled to it, and state.
All right. And so count 1 will remain at none, count 2 will remain at 1,500, count 3 will go to 1,500, count 4 will go to 1,500.
Our state, we just asked for no contact with the victims or witnesses and no weapons.
And sir, you are to possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs. You are to have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victims or witnesses in this case. That means that you cannot talk to them directly, you cannot call them by telephone, text them, email them, try to get a hold of them by any type of computer or social media platform, and not have anyone communicate with them on your behalf. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. And,
Madam Clerk, if the interpreter could kindly request the case number for this defendant, please.
22CF 8041. Sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
That's it for the Spanish interpreter cases? All right, thank you, sir, interpreter.
Have a good afternoon, Your Honor.
Thank you. I don't need to do anything else. It disconnects on its own? Hmm? That's it, okay. Please state your name, sir.
Stanley Baker.
Sir, you are here on 2 counts. Count 1 is possession of fentanyl. Count 2 is possession of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, and I find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you at this time. With regards to count one, possession of fentanyl, bond is set at $100, at $1,000, $1,000. Count two, possession of drug paraphernalia, bond is set at $500. Anything else, State or Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Please state your name.
Deja Roberto.
Please state that again.
Deja Roberto.
Morello?
Roberto.
All right, you are here on a charge of driving with license suspended or revoked. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. Bond is set on that charge at $500. I've also been made aware that you are possession of cocaine. Is that the other one? 3821, 2022 CT 3821. You're also here on a charge of possession of cocaine. I have reviewed that charging affidavit, find probable cause. Bond is set at $1,000. I also see that you have been out on two other bonds, one for driving while license suspended, revoked with knowledge, and one for no valid driver's license. I am revoking on both of those bonds. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. All right. Anything, State or Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
All heavy right there.
I'm so sorry.
All heavy right there.
Thank you. And sir, you're here on three counts. Count one is burglary of a structure. Count two is grand theft third degree. Count three is resisting officer without violence. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. Bond on count one, burglary, is set at $3,500. Bond on count two, grand theft third degree, is set at $500. And bond on count three, resisting officer without violence, is set at $500. Anything else, State or Defense?
Your Honor, State would just ask for a no return to Burlington Coat Factory and no contact.
Thank you. And sir, I'm going to require as conditions of release that you not return to the place where this incident took place. And I'm also going to require that you have no contact whatsoever with the witnesses in this case.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Some of them might not be present because medical.
Okay. Am I going to read the case number? All right. Jody Wayne Adams, case number 2022 CT 488.
He's medical, Your Honor.
He's medical. He has the Office of the Public Defender representing him.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, this is with regards to charge of driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. Is this going to be set for something? Okay, Madam Clerk will have it set.
Division 80, pretrial conference, August 22nd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9C.
Thank you. Crystal Bostic is medical. They have the Office of the Public Defender representing them. This is case number 2021 CT 6188, charge of driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. Counsel?
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right.
Division 80, pretrial conference, August 22nd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9C.
And next on is medical. Okay, Lawrence Corns, case number 2021CT72AA. They have the Office of the Public Defender representing them. This is a violation of probation with regards to charge of DUI. Counsel?
I will waive and enter a denial, Your Honor.
All right, Madam Clerk.
Division 63, VOP status, August 3rd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 10B.
Then we have, okay. Is it Tamir Jones? What's your name, sir?
Tamir Michael Jones.
All right, and sir, we're here on case number 2022 CT 2721. This is a charge of no motor vehicle registration.
Yes, Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Jones of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served.
Adjudication time served.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I don't see where the public defender has been appointed on this case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask that we be appointed. We're going to enter,
For
I would ask that we,
purposes of this proceeding, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
and I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. He's on probation. If he pleads, he'll violate his probation, Your Honor.
All right, there's a plea of not guilty on the case.
Division 61, pretrial conference, August 4th at 1:30 PM, courtroom 7C.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, David Torres Bautista is medical.
All right, case number 2019 CT 133AO, David Bautista Perez. He has the Office of the Public Defender representing him. This is with regards to a charge of DUI with property damage or personal injury. It's a violation of probation.
I will waive and enter a denial, Your Honor.
Division 61, VOP status, August 30th at 10 o'clock, courtroom 7C.
And we have, is this Christopher Bryant?
He's medical also.
Also medical. All right, this is case number 2022MM3892. Christopher Bryant. He's got the Office of the Public Defender representing him. It's a charge of battery.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 62, pretrial conference, August 8th at 8:30, courtroom 12C.
Next is Blake Doble. All right, please state your name.
Yes, sir.
Your name, please.
Blake Ryan Dovel.
Thank you. You are represented by the Office of the Public Defender. I have this as case 2022MM3968BO. And this is count 1, battery, count 2, resisting merchandise recovery, count 3, petty theft.
And Your Honor, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay?
Division 63, pretrial conference, August 4th at 1 o'clock, courtroom 10B.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, in the case of Alaya Gould, case number 2021MM814AW, charge of petty theft of $100 or more. Ms. Gould is represented by the Office of the Public Defender.
I will waive and enter a denial, Your Honor.
All right, that's on a VOP. Thank you.
Division 82, VOP status, September 8th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
We have Christopher Griffin next. All right, thank you. That's case number 2022MM3452AO, Christopher Dwayne Griffin. It is a charge of battery, domestic violence related, represented by the Office of the Public Defender.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Thank you.
Division 50. It's a VOP? No, it's not. Division 50, pretrial conference, August 12th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4E.
Two charges.
What's the name, Griffin?
Is that for both of his cases?
Yeah, Christopher, he's got two.
Okay.
And
Both cases are set for the same day and same.
All right, and just for the record, that's also case number 2022MM3930AO, Christopher Dwayne Griffin, charge of battery, domestic violence relations related, and violation of pretrial release condition on domestic violence. And Madam Clerk has indicated that they will both be set in the same division.
Yes, sir.
Next, we have Tamir Jones again. Is that the individual we just had here?
Yeah, we just did. He's double printed, I guess.
No, this is a different case number.
Case number?
Different case number, do we need him back?
He's gonna get future date. What's he physically here?
Yes.
And he has a PD in his case.
Correct.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay, that's in the case of Tamir Jones.
I mean, denial, sorry.
2021 MM 5355AO.
Division 85, VOP status, August 4th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4A.
Judy Kelly?
One moment, Your Honor.
No problem. Morning, or good afternoon.
Who was it?
Your Honor, we have Kelly Judy, she's mental health.
All right, Judy Kelly, 2022 MM 3635AO, charge of battery, represented by the Office of the Public Defender.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Division 82, pretrial conference, August 30th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
James Letiza is medical.
I've got a William Luna. I don't have a.
Okay.
Am I missing that, or?
Luna? Okay, this is Luna.
That person was waived already. Written plea of not guilty.
Okay, okay, thank you. Your name, sir?
William Luna.
All right, and sir, you are here on a charge of violation of injunction for protection against stalking or cyber stalking. You are this is in case number 2022 MM 3834. You are represented by the Office of the Public Defender.
I will enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right.
Division 50, pretrial conference, August 12th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4E.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
James Moore is medical.
All right, that's case number 2022 MM 3826, James Irwin Moore. He's represented by the Office of the Public Defender.
I thought I spoke to him.
One moment.
Okay.
The bench? Okay. I was like, huh? He's here. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Moore of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the Family Dollar at 1340 West Gore Street, and cost of investigation to Orlando Police Department in the amount of $96.74.
And, Your Honor, Mr. Moore would like to accept the state's offer and enter a plea of no contest.
All right, and sir, can you please state your full legal name?
State your name, Mr. Moore.
Of James Irvin Morris, Your Honor.
And, sir, do you understand everything, thank you, everything that's been said to this time?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe it's in your best interest to enter a plea at this time?
No contrast.
Do you believe it's in your best interest to enter that plea here today?
Yes, sir.
You understand that by entering a plea here today, you will be adjudicated guilty of the charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. And sir, is that your signature on the plea form?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the plea form?
Yes, sir.
You understand the rights that appear on the front of the plea form?
Yes, sir.
You understand you're giving up those rights by entering a plea here today?
Yes, sir.
You understand the maximum and minimum penalties for the charge that you are pleading here today on?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering the plea of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that might affect your thinking here today?
No, sir.
You suffer from any type of mental condition or disease that might affect your ability to think clearly here today?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Is there a stipulation counsel to a factual basis for the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, with regards to the charge of petty theft, how do you plea?
No contest.
All right, sir, I accept your plea of no contest. I find you are alert and intelligent. You understand the rights and the penalties associated with this charge. You are entering the plea of your own free will, and there are sufficient facts by stipulation. At this point, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the offense. I'm going to require that you serve 35 days Orange County Jail, give you credit for 35 days time served Orange County Jail. I'm going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place, which is the Family Dollar. At what address was that?
1340 West Gore Street.
And for how long a period is that a no return?
A year, Your Honor.
That'll be for 1 year period. I'm going to impose upon you all applicable court costs in addition to costs of investigation to the Orlando Police Department in the amount of $96.74. We will put all the amounts together. Is there still a program through the clerk's office where they enter into a payment plan, or how is that?
We just give
You
them,
no longer do that.
we just give them a year.
Okay, so you have a 1 year period to pay on these amounts. And sir, you have 30 days to appeal the decision of the court in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney for appellate purposes, one could be appointed for you if you qualify. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, case of Jonathan Ortiz, 2022 MM 4128, MM 4128, charge of trespass on property after warning. They have the Office of the Public Defender representing them.
Was this a pleable or arraignment? We still arraignments?
Arraignment.
Oh, I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Division 85, pretrial conference, August 22nd at 9 o'clock, courtroom 4A.
Okay, and so that is Cordero Rutland, case number 2022 MM 2796. There are 4 counts, count 1 battery, count 2 battery, count 3 battery, count 4 battery. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Division 82, pretrial conference, August 30th at 9 o'clock, courtroom 9B.
Please state your name, sir. Sir, you are here on a charge of loitering or prowling. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. Bond is set at $1,000. Is there any comment from the state?
No, Your Honor.
I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Your Honor, he has an extensive history of mental health. So could we have him screened for mental health pretrial release and if he qualifies or?
State, any comment?
No, Your Honor. So he has no objection to screening for mental health PTR and then the alternative, a bond.
All right, so the bond will be at $1,000 or mental health pretrial release if he qualifies. I'm going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place. All right? Please state your name, sir.
John Crumpton.
Sir, you are here on a charge of loitering or prowling. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Bond is set at $1,000. Is there any comment, state or defense?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Rebecca, he doesn't qualify? Your Honor, he doesn't have any criminal history at all. I would ask for pretrial release. I asked, pretrial release said he would qualify.
Let me see here for a moment. It's 4643. (4643AO). I see. It was indicating he didn't qualify, but it says he was not interviewed.
State has no objection to PTR, Your Honor, if he otherwise qualifies.
Yes, and so court has no objection to pretrial release if he qualifies. Otherwise, the bond amount stays at $1,000. All right, thank you.
We're gonna go back and screen him?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's she has to see him.
No return?
No return as a condition to the place where this incident took place. Thank you.
Foster, Rivera, refused.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's address the case of Lavares Foster. That's case number 2022 MM 4641. I've been informed he refuses. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Thank you. I've got him on a charge of loitering or prowling. Fine probable cause. Bond is set at $500. I also see that he was out on a charge of possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to revoke that.
Your Honor, it doesn't have much, oh, yes, he does. Never mind. I take it back. No comment, Your Honor. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Please approach and state your name. Your name, please.
Mondale Gray.
Thank you. Sir, you are here on two charges. One is a count of possession of drug paraphernalia. The other is a charge of trespass in structure trespass other than a structure or conveyance. That's a refusal to leave. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. With regards to the drug paraphernalia, bond is set at $500. With regards to the trespass, I'm going to set that at $100.
Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve with an adjudication of guilt, credit, time served, and no return. Do you have the address?
It's no return to the Wawa located at 1200 West Colonial.
And Mr. Gray would like to accept an enter plea of no contest.
All right. Yes, I've appointed the public defender. Thank you. All right, and sir, is that your signature on the plea form? And that you review the form? You understand the rights that appear on the front of the form? You understand you are giving up those rights by entering a plea here today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the maximum and minimum penalties for the charge you're pleading here today on?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering the plea of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that might affect your thinking here today?
No.
Do you suffer from any type of mental condition or disease that might affect your ability to think clearly?
No, sir.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, sir.
With regards to the charge, sir, of possession of drug paraphernalia from an incident of July 10th, 2022, how do you plea?
No contest.
With regards to the charge of trespass other than structure or conveyance, refusal to leave.
No
With
contest.
regards to the incident of July 10th, 2022, how do you plea?
No contest.
I accept the pleas of no contest. I find you are alert and intelligent, understand the rights and the penalties associated with these charges, entering the pleas of your own free will, and there are sufficient facts to accept the pleas. At this point, with regards to count one, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of that offense. How much time served does he have?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days. I'm going to require that you serve 2 days Orange County Jail, give you credit 2 days time served. With regards to count two, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of that offense, require that you serve 2 days Orange County Jail, give you credit for 2 days time served Orange County Jail. I'm going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place, which is the Wawa located at 1200 West Colonial Drive, and going to impose upon you all applicable court costs and fees and give you 1 year to pay on that. Sir, you have 30 days to appeal the decision of the court in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney for appellate purposes, one can be appointed for you if you qualify. Thank you. Please state your name.
Hazelhurst.
You are here on a charge of trespass on property after warning. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Your Honor, state did convey an offer to Mr. Hazelhurst of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no recurrent to Sequel Church at 8421 South OBT.
And Mr.
right, thank you. And let the record reflect the plea form was signed in open court. Thank you. And sir, did you review the plea form?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the rights that appear on the front of the form?
Yes.
Do you understand you're giving up those rights by entering a plea here today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the maximum and minimum penalties for the charge you are pleading here today on?
Yes.
Are you entering the plea of your own free will?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that might affect your thinking here today?
No.
Do you suffer from any type of mental condition or disease that might affect your ability to think clearly?
No.
All right, sir, with regards to the charge of trespass on property after warning from an incident of July 10, 2022, how do you plead?
No content.
I accept the plea of no contest, find you're alert and intelligent, understand the rights and the penalties associated with the charge, entering the plea of your own free will, and there are sufficient facts to accept the plea. At this point, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the offense. I'm going to require that you serve, how much time do you have, 2 days?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days, time served, give you credit. I'm sorry, require that you serve 2 days, Orange County Jail, give you credit for 2 days' time served. I'm going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place, which is the church located at 8421 South Orange Blossom Trail. I'm going to impose all applicable court costs and fees and give you 1 year to pay on that. You have 30 days to appeal the decision of the court in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney for appellate purposes, one can be appointed for you if you qualify. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please state your name.
Shamar Henry.
You are here on a charge of trespass on property after warning. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Bond is set at $500. Is this applicable?
It is, Your Honor. However, there's not an offer at this time. State would just ask for a no return and a no contact with witnesses and victims.
Yes, sure.
I'm sorry, I could not hear that.
Oh, go ahead.
It is applicable, Your Honor. However, state hasn't conveyed an offer at this time. State would just ask for a no return and no contact with witnesses.
And so you're not making a recommendation at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So there is no, a bond is set at $500. I'm going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place, and I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victims or witnesses in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Please state your name.
Johnny Hill.
Can you be screened? Screened.
Sir, you are here on 2 counts. Count 1 is battery. Count 2 is resisting officer without violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Yeah.
Bond on count 1 is set at $500. Bond on count 2 is set at $100. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim or witnesses in this case, that you not return to the area where this incident took place, that you consume or possess no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, that you possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within your control of possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon your release.
Your Honor, can he be, in the alternative, can he be screened for pretrial release? He wasn't able to be screened yet, and I don't see any history.
State?
It is no objection.
All right, and so if he otherwise qualifies for pretrial release, we will agree to pretrial release or the bonding amount.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Timothy Lafferty, his behavior.
All right.
Your Honor, there is an offer to resolve Mr. Lafferty's case. Could we reset for tomorrow? I'm going to try to resolve both trespass cases.
State?
There is no objection.
All right, let's reset Mr. Lafferty. There are 2 cases involved here, as you know.
Yep, I'm going to try to resolve both tomorrow.
Right.
Is it behavior? Behavior?
Yeah. just listen if he comes tomorrow. If not, then he just sits.
Please state your name.
Kenneth Miller.
All right. And sir, you are here on a charge of trespass on property after warning. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and find probable cause. I see a plea form being signed. Is there no?
There was an offer conveyed to Mr. Miller of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the 7-Eleven located at 605 West Colonial.
And Mr. Miller would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
All right, let the record reflect the plea form is signed in open court. Thank you. And sir, did you review the plea form?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the rights that appear on the front of the plea form?
Yes,
Do you understand you are giving up those rights by entering a plea here today?
sir.
Do you understand the maximum and minimum penalties for the charge you are pleading here today on? Are you entering the plea of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that might affect your thinking here today?
No, I wasn't.
Do you suffer from any type of mental condition or disease that might affect your ability to think clearly here today? Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, sir.
With regards to the charge, trespass on property after warning from an incident of July 10th, 2022, how do you plead?
No contest. Sir.
I accept the plea of no contest, find you are alert and intelligent, understand the rights and the penalties associated with the charge. You are entering the plea of your own free will, and there are sufficient facts to accept the plea. At this point, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the offense. I'm going to give you credit for 2 days time served. I'm going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place, which is the 7-Eleven at 605 West Colonial Drive. I'm going to impose upon you all applicable court costs and fees and give you 1 year to pay on that. Thank you, sir. What case is canceled here? Is she ready on that?
Your Honor, Rocco, Keith, his behavior.
Okay, so addressing the case of Keith Rocco,
I'm gonna, Your Honor, I am gonna ask that he also be reset. There's an offer to resolve his case for tomorrow.
okay. State, there's an offer on this?
Yes, Your Honor.
His last name is?
All right, so we will reset that. That's medical behavior.
Well, I don't have that.
Yes, we're appointing the public defender to represent him. Please approach and state your name. Please state your name.
Victoria Diaz.
All right, and you are here on a warrant arrest for failure to appear.
Yes.
And this is with regards to an underlying charge of criminal mischief. Bond on that has been set by the judge at $2,000. I'm appointing the office of the public defender to represent you. Do you understand everything that's been said?
Yes, sir.
All right, counsel, any comment?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Please state your name, sir.
Marcellus Clark.
Sir, you are here on a charge of disorderly conduct. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. Bond is set at $250. I'm appointing the office of the public defender to represent you. Has there been an offer on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. For Mr. Clark, the offer was a withhold credit time served.
If it's a withhold, there's no credit, but
I'm sorry?
if it's a withhold, there's no credit. But go ahead.
Yes, 2 days, Your Honor.
I understand that. if you withhold, you don't impose. That's okay. But the offer is a withhold, court costs.
Yes.
And
And he would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
thank you. All right, and let the record reflect the plea form was signed in open court. And sir, that you review this plea form?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the rights that appear on the front of the form?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand you are giving up those rights by entering a plea here today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the maximum and minimum penalties for the charge you are pleading here today on?
Yes.
Are you entering the plea of your own free will?
Yes.
Under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that might affect your thinking here today?
No.
Suffer from any type of mental condition or disease that might affect your ability to think clearly?
No.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes.
With regards to the charge of disorderly conduct from an incident of July 10th, 2022, how do you plead?
No contest.
I accept the plea of no contest, find you are alert and intelligent, understand the rights and the penalties associated with the charge, entering the plea of your own free will, and there are sufficient facts to accept the plea. At this point, I am going to withhold adjudication on the charge. I'm going to impose upon you all applicable court costs and fees and give you 1 year to pay on that. And sir, you have 30 days to appeal the decision of the court in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney for appellate purposes, one can be appointed for you if you qualify. Thank you. Please state your name.
James William Johnson.
And sir, you are here on a charge of soliciting without a permit.
And, Your Honor, the offer from the state is a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, and court costs. Mr. Johnson would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
I'm also showing that he's out on bond on a grand theft third degree.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm asking that you take no action, given that he is pleading to the soliciting without a permit charge, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, that would be state's recommendation as well, given that he is playing to the soliciting and they are unrelated in any way.
Okay. And sir, is this your signature on the plea form?
Yes, sir.
And did you review the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the rights that appear on the front of the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up those rights by entering a plea here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the maximum and minimum penalties for the charge you are pleading here today on?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering the plea of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication that might affect your thinking here today?
No, sir.
You suffer from any type of mental condition or disease that might affect your ability to think clearly?
No, sir.
Do you understand that entering a plea of guilty or no contest to this charge can lead to deportation from the United States if you are not a legal citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, thank you, sir.
With regards to the charge of soliciting without permit from an incident of July 10th, 2022, how do you plead?
No contest.
I accept the plea of no contest. I find you are alert and intelligent, understand the rights and the penalties associated with the charge. You are entering the plea of your own free will, and there are sufficient facts to accept the plea. State, could you repeat that offer?
It was a withhold credit time served, Your Honor.
I'm going to withhold adjudication on the charge, sir. I'm going to impose upon you all applicable court costs and fees. I'm going to require that that be paid within a 1-year period. You have 30 days to appeal the decision of the court in writing. If you cannot afford an attorney for appellate purposes, one can be appointed for you if you qualify. I'm taking no action with regards to the matter of grand theft that you were out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Please state your name.
Christian Activacio.
And sir, you are here on 3 counts: possession of methamphetamine, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, and I find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. With regards to count 1, possession of meth, bond is set at $5,000. Count 2, possession of cannabis, $100. Count 3, drug paraphernalia, $100. Anything, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I was gonna ask if my client can't, afford the $5,000 bond on count one. I was gonna ask if you would consider reducing count one, to 2,500 so that he's able to, bond out. If you look, although he has, some history, he has no failures to appear. And the weapon was, not a firearm, it was actually some brass knuckles they found, in the vehicle. So I would just ask that you consider reducing count one. Oh, okay. He's just stating that he actually has his medical marijuana license. It's just that he didn't have it in his wallet at the time that he was pulled over.
I'm not going to reduce the bond amount. That's denied.
Sir, the reason why I'm
Hold on, please, and please
Your
forgive.
Honor, he's,
I just want to let him know, it's not that I want to be rude, it's just that everything you say is being recorded and can be used against you, so I just like to let people know that before they speak in open court. You have your attorney standing next to you, if you want to whisper in her ear or talk to her.
Your Honor, he's just speaking of his medical condition. He has to have, open heart surgery. And he, at this time, he was searching for new employment. He cannot afford $5,000. So he said, could you at least consider $3,500?
Sir, this is not let's make a deal, okay? I understand the situation that you're trying to convey, but you do have the Office of the Public Defender representing you. They will be in contact with you. They can't bring these motions before the next judge. I am a temporary judge. There is going to be a judge assigned to your case who will have your case long-term and will have the time to understand the situation much better than I can at this time. So I hope I've been able to explain that adequately to you, okay? But please stay in constant contact with your attorney, and they will be bringing this matter up before the next judge who is assigned to this case permanently, okay? All right, thank you. Please state your name.
Oh, we're looking for Thaddeus Douglas?
Okay, and I'm sorry, I have another case beforehand that is Thaddeus Douglas.
Thaddeus Douglas refused.
Okay, and so in the case of Thaddeus Douglas, I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
And I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. He's got 2 counts, count 1, fleeing or attempting to elude law enforcement officer with sirens and light. Count 2 is possession of methylene, methamp, MDMA, ecstasy. Bond on that count 2 is set at $1,000. With regards to the fleeing and attempting to elude, is there any comment by the state?
Your Honor, given his prior history, it's fairly lengthy. State would ask for 5,000. He has at least 3 prior failures to appear and a lengthy history, another open case. So state would ask for 5,000 on the fleeing and to stay the possession.
All right, and any comment from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and so at this point, with regards to count 1, I'm going to set that at a $5,000 bond and not to possess or consume any alcohol or non-prescription drugs, and not to have contact with any known drug dealers. And with regards to, he is presently on bond with regards to another drug charge. I'm going to revoke that bond. So sorry? Set at none, correct.
It tells me.
All right, please state your name, sir.
Christopher Thomas.
And sir, you are here on a charge of burglary of an occupied structure. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. Bond is set at $5,000. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're also been made aware that you were out on bond on charges of possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to revoke that bond, set it at no bond status.
Your Honor, I would ask that you take no action. He was arrested back May 23rd of this year. To date, no information has been filed, so I would ask that you take no action on the out on bond.
State?
Your Honor, that's correct. State would ask for no action.
All right, we'll take no action on the bond.
Your Honor, in regards to the Berg occupied structures, they would ask for a no return and no contact on that one.
All right, I'm going to require, sir, that you not return to the place where this incident took place, and that you have no contact with any victims or witnesses related to this case.
It doesn't matter. You do not qualify. Oh, she needed me.
Please state your name.
Aisha Felder.
You are here on a charge of burglary of a dwelling. I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I'm appointing the office of the public defender to represent you. Bond is set at $5,000.
Your Honor, state would also ask for a no return, no contact.
Going to require that you not return to the place where this incident took place, that you have no contact with regards to any witnesses or victims regarding this matter. Counsel? Anything else, counsel? Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let me know when you're ready on,
Yes,
okay? Are you ready, or?
I'm ready, Your Honor. I was
Okay,
gonna tell the CO.
so what's your client's name?
Angel Negron Torres.
Is
I'm not gonna try
Your Honor.
14028.
Your Honor, if we can go back for a minute to the prior case. I would ask that you consider reducing the bond amount.
Please state the client's
Oh, okay.
name again. Is that Miss Maisha Felder?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, counsel.
Sorry. I would ask that you consider reducing the bond amount. In this case, my client can't afford the $5,000. She was actually homeless at the time, finding somewhere to sleep. I just ask that you consider that and consider reducing her bond amount.
Your Honor, Ms. Felder has at least 3 prior failures to appear and a pretty lengthy criminal history. And within the home, I believe there was a slew of other things found. So state believes that the bond is reasonable and in line with what the bond schedule has.
All right, I'm going to deny that, counsel. All right. Thank you.
Y'all make my anxiety, that's because y'all making my anxiety worse now. I have panic attacks. Y'all, come on, man.
One moment.
Yes,
What did I do? I'm not doing anything. Sir, I'm not doing
All right, let me
anything.
help you. If I gotta tell you again, I'm gonna snatch you out of here. Step out.
What did I, oh, man. I'm trying to calm my panic attack down.
Did private counsel go to speak with her client, or?
I believe she's in the back with her client,
Okay.
waiting for him to be brought up.
And in this case, Your Honor, just so you know, he's been deemed incompetent to proceed.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch his name.
Samuel, Hamilton Samuel, he has competency issues, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I noticed that he is indicating he suffers from anxiety, and for the record, I can hear him through the metal door screaming in the back.
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And so,
Your Honor, respectfully, he is out on bond for the same thing, and it is substantially similar, the factual scenario on that one. So state would ask that you revoke at least the ag assault with no action on the driving.
And Your Honor, I'm going to ask that you not. He has mental health.
do you, no problem.
Okay.
But,
So, Your
I'm gonna be the person having that panic attack.
let me just finish the case of Samuel Hamilton, counsel.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that you take no action. He's been deemed incompetent by a court to proceed. He does not meet the requirements for commitment. And so I'm asking that you not revoke his out on bond due to his mental health condition, Your Honor. I just ask that you set the bond on the new law violation.
All right, well, let me start with the charges that brought him here today. I've got 2 counts. Count 1, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Count 2, battery. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. Bond on count 1, aggravated assault is set at $2,500. Count 2, battery set at $500. I'm going to require that he not return to the place where this incident took place, that he possess or consume no alcohol or non-prescription drugs, that he possess or control no weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms within his control or possession are to be handed over immediately to law enforcement upon his release from custody. I'm going to require that he maintain a distance of at least 500 feet away from the alleged victim in this case. That would be the victim's person, place of residence, vehicle, and place of employ. Now, with regards to the matters he was out on bond, State, you were indicating on one of them, it's the same charge, aggravated assault?
It's it came in an ag assault. We ended up filing an ag assault with a weapon. He also allegedly pulled a knife on a 7-Eleven clerk and made similar statements that he did in this case. That case, there hasn't been an NOI filed to date. So state would ask that you revoke, given the behavior is substantially similar and the potential danger to the community.
All right, and I am going to agree. I am, with regards to the 2 other bonding situations, I'm going to revoke on those.
Your Honor, the state asks that you not, my only issue, Your Honor, is that what's going to happen is we're going to file the motion again and he's going to get out. He doesn't meet the requirements of commitment because of the incompetency he's been treated with Aspire. If you are going to revoke his 2022 CF 592880, Your Honor, the state had no objection to you taking no action on the other incompetent to proceed cases, the driving offenses. I just ask that you at least take no action as those are not related.
State?
State has no objection to taking no action on the driving cases.
Okay. Those would be the CT cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, no action on the CT cases, but I am revoking the bond on the aggravated assault. Okay, and Negron? All right.
It would be a different ASA, but we need to hire somebody.
Good afternoon, counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Your Honor, I'm Attorney Merrill Glover Gamos. I stand with Angel Negron Suarez.
And
He was arrested on a warrant, Your Honor. The warrant is from, I believe, 2016. He surrendered himself at the jail yesterday. There is a nebula hole in place. And I want to know, if his mother and his sister, appear tomorrow, if we could take care of that nebula hole here.
I am rather limited in what I can do in the courtroom here. I would feel uncomfortable taking care of or doing a nebula proceeding here.
Okay.
And so, who's this assigned before?
Judge Lattimore.
Judge
Division
LeBlanc.
22, Your Honor.
It's Judge LeBlanc.
Yes.
I would prefer that that matter be heard by the judge who's going to be dealing with this case on a more permanent basis.
Okay.
Okay, and just for the record, sir, this is a warrant arrest with regards to a charge of trafficking in cocaine. A bond was set by that judge at $50,000.
Also, Your Honor, I'm so sorry to interrupt. It did state on the warrant he was to be supervised by pretrial release, but he doesn't qualify for pretrial release. Is there a way you can strike that and just leave the bond?
Right. State defense?
No objection, Your Honor, if he doesn't qualify.
We concur, Your Honor.
Okay, and so at this point, we will strike the PTR and leave it strictly on the bond amount. Anything else?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, counsel. Good seeing you.
Talk to your mom and your sister.
Please state your name.
Ryan Demetrius Jarrett, sir.
Sir, you are here on 3 charges. Count 1 is burglary of a structure. Count 2 is grand theft 3rd degree. Count 3 is resisting officer without violence. I have reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. I am appointing the office of the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1, burglary is $3,500. Count 2, grand theft is $500. And count 3, resisting without is $500. Any comment, defense?
Your Honor, say we just asked for a no return to the Burlington Coat Factory.
All right, there'll be, sir, there's no return to the Burlington Coat Factory, which is located at 8204 South Orange Blossom Trail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's address the case of Demetrius Johnson. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. This is with regards to a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I've reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. Bond is set at $1,500. No return to the place where this incident took place. Anything else the state would be requesting?
No return also to, I believe it was also Burlington.
It's no return to the Burlington where this incident took place. And he is out on a matter with regards to possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia. I'm going to revoke on the ROR and put her at no bond status. Please approach and state your name.
My name is Carolyn Littlefield, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You are here on a charge of driving while license permanently revoked.
May I speak on that, please?
Sorry,
Please
forgive
I
me. No.
apologize.
Before you speak, now I don't want to be rude. I just want to let you know that everything you say is being recorded and can be used against you. I
Yes,
am
sir.
appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in this matter. And that means that they will be in contact with you. All right, I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I find probable cause. Bond is set at $5,000. Anything else, counsel?
Your Honor, the only thing that I would ask is if you would consider reducing the $5,000 bond. My client can't afford it. She's taking care of her children. And the $5,000 is too high, maybe $3,500, Your Honor.
Okay, I've reviewed the charging affidavit, and give me a moment here.
Does she qualify for PTR? Your Honor, state has no objection to a small reduction. Just taking into account, she does have 2 prior failures to appear. One is recent, is 2020. So we just ask that you take that into account.
I'm not going to reduce it. I'm going to leave it at $5,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, likewise. Please state your name.
Alberto Madera.
Sir, you are here on 4 charges. Count 1, carjacking with a firearm. Count 2, grand theft, 3rd degree, motor vehicle. Count 3, grand theft, 3rd degree, firearm. Count 4, aggravated assault with a firearm. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Any comments, State Defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Given that count 1 is a first-degree felony that's punishable by life, state's asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing downtown and set reasonable bonds as to 3 and 4 and stay count 2 as currently listed.
And I'm sorry?
And stay count 2 as it's currently listed.
All right. Any comments by defense?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
Okay, and so with regards to count 1, carjacking with a firearm, that's going to stay at a no bond status. With regards to count 2, grand theft, 3rd degree, stays at $1,500. With regards to grand theft, 3rd degree, that's going to be $500. With regards to aggravated assault with a firearm, that's going to be $1,500. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Please state your name.
Billy James Riley.
All right. You are here on 3 counts. Count 1 is possession of cocaine with intent to deliver or sell. Count 2 is burglary of a dwelling. Count 3 is possession of cannabis under 20 grams. I have reviewed the charging affidavit, find probable cause. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is set at $15,000. Count 2, $150. That is the, let me backtrack. Count on the possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver is set at $15,000. Count 2, burglary of a dwelling is set at $150, and possession of cannabis under 20 grams is $100. You understand everything I've said, sir?
Sir?
You understand everything I have said?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, state would ask for no return to the dwelling.
I'm going to require, sir, that you not return to the place where this incident took place, which is on North Hiawassee Road. All right, thank you. Okay, let's address the case of Joseph Rodriguez. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him.
Yes, Your Honor. I will waive his appearance. I would just ask that it doesn't look like he was able to be screened, if he could be screened for pretrial release, and if he qualifies pretrial release or a monetary bond. Additionally, I would ask that you ROR as to 1 count of the resisting with violence, as the state can only move forward with 1 resisting charge when they're all stemming from the same incident, Your Honor.
State?
State has no objection, Your Honor.
All right, well, with regards to the charges, I've got count 1, battery on law enforcement officer. That one, I have a note that that was set, that should be set at $2,500. And so I'm setting bond on that count at $2,500. Count 2, battery on a law enforcement officer, bond is set at $150. Count 3, resisting without violence, $150. With regards to count 4, resisting without violence, Both sides have asked me to set that
ROR, Your Honor.
in ROR. And then with regards to possession of cannabis under 20 grams, bond is set at $100.
Is that also a screen for PTR and in lieu then the bonds?
Yes, if, it can also be screened for PTR, and if qualifies, can be released to the PTR in lieu of the financial amounts.
Mental health PTR?
Mental health PTR, yes, thank you. And next we have Pierre Warren. He's going to the hospital? All right, and in the case of Pierre Ronald Warren, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. This is a warrant arrest for charges of possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, and improper exhibition of a firearm or dangerous weapon. The judge has set bond on count 1 at $3,500, count 2 at $150, for a total of $3,650. Any comment, defense?
No,
I
Your
will
Honor.
wait, oh, sorry. I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then I've got Brandon Wolf. Okay, we have a refusal in the case of Mr. Wolf. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. This is with regards to count 1, robbery, count 2, petty theft with 2 prior convictions noted, count 3, resisting officer without violence. I've read the charging affidavit, find probable cause. Count 1, robbery, bond is set at $5,000. Count 2, petty theft, bond is set at $1,000. Count 3, resisting without, bond is set at $500. Going to require that not return to the place where this incident took place. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, defense?
No, Your Honor, I will waive the appearance.
Okay, and you know what? Forgive me. I
He is
do
out
see
on
that he's
bond.
out on 2 other bonded matters. I'm going to revoke on those. Set them both at no bond. Is that it? Did we get through everyone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, my only thing would be in, Wolf is, 2022 CF 4098AO. He was arrested back in April 12th of this year. And to date, the state has not made a charging decision.
State?
The state requests that you take no action.
And this is on which one? The 2?
The possession of a methamphetamine, Your Honor.
Okay. So with regards to 2022 CF 8024, court will take no action on that bond, but it is.
It's, yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's actually 2022 CF 4098AO.
4098?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't have that one.
It's the out on bond.
Okay. Oh, I got it. Got it at the body. 4098.
Yes.
That one is no action. Now, I've got the MN 3821, and that one I am going to revoke
Yes.
no bond. We're done? Okay.
that not perfect
At this
timing for
point,
you?
I've been informed we're
close,
done
huh?
with all the cases for today. Court will be adjourned.
I got to go. I
Going off record.
$50.